Saw with that verdict is the evidence of a broken system. Now listen, from everything that I understand, which I wasn't at the trial because obviously I got a day job, but it's my understanding that Carmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing, I don't know what this tool was that they talk about, knife, or some refer to it as a tool. He ended up hitting Austin one time, and it was about where he hit him. One time, 2 inches. This wasn't someone who said, hey, let me stab you 5, 6, 7 times. And so when you're looking at the punishment range, there's a reason saw with that verdict is the evidence of a broken system. Now listen, from everything that I understand, which I wasn't at the trial because obviously I got a day job, but it's my understanding that Carmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing, I don't know what this tool was that they
didn't know what the tool was. What's up? Jasmine Crockett is sure trying to make herself look different, isn't she? She's really going for the new look now that she's out of office. I mean, the hair, the nails, it's all there. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day to everybody. Look, Jay Schwartz is here. How you doing? How you doing? Jason Fisher's here. How's it going? CF Rob's here. Yes, like the stream. Please, everybody. Steve Hilliard's here. How's it going? Yeah, Miss Hacker's here. Sherry Gatlin, what's up? None of your business. Great Eagle. So great to see everybody. All the people that are here having nice conversations. I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. Everybody that came over from the raid. Awesome, Jim Somniacs. Awesome intro. Well, thank you, Greg McNeely. How's it going? Great to see you. LaRaza for Trump. Great to see you. Yes. Yeah, I'm not going to play this again, but that was just Jasmine Crockett doing the Jasmine Crockett-y things. How do women do anything with those nails? I don't know. I don't understand it. It is what it is. But yes, I want to thank everybody who's here. We're here. Thank you. Just Rhonda's here too. Yes, what's up? So yeah, so the show's going to be about 2.5 hours long, 2 hours, 2.5, usually about 2.5 hours long, unless we hit the goal, which is we have a goal on this show, which is for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member or gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, or Twitch, Locals Coins, and also Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up when we hit $100. We add an extra hour to the show, and then for each additional $100 come in, we add an additional hour to the show. So the show could be, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however long you guys want it to be. It's up to you. Hey, what's up, Proxy Loxy? Thanks for being here. Redirectify Rob. Yeah, Jay Price, how's it going? Great to see you. It's always nice when everybody comes over from Rob. I love it. I think it's great. I really do. I really do. So yeah, so that's how that works. But let's we have a bunch of news stories to get into. We're going to start off with the first news story of the evening, which is about Iryna Zarutska's killer. I didn't even start a goal. I'm sorry. I didn't even start the goal on YouTube yet. So let me do this. I think I have one more, an interesting video here that I could do quick. Just real quick here while I set up the goal on YouTube. Oh, here, want to hear Candace Owens. This is the new Candace Owens one. No, wait. Sorry. Sorry about that. This is the new Candace Owens one. Let's do this.
Widows, widows, the widow. You shall honor the widow. You shall worship the widow. I'm going to keep telling you the widow. And you will see we are biblical here. This is it. Want to support me? I'm a victim. I forgot to tell you guys I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm just really a victim. So if you guys could just support me, the widow, by going to CandaceOwens.com and buying a Stop Anti-Candaceism mug, I would really appreciate it. It's the way that you can show your support. And see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Widow. Candace looks different without the filters, right? Completely different without the filters. Completely different. So yeah, so I started the goal on YouTube so you guys can see it there. I didn't get sent from Robert with hi all Jim. Well, you didn't? Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Yes, beautiful Bella. Yes, Bella's on the screen. I'm going to leave her up for a few minutes. I'll take her down in a second. Strikes occurring in Iran. Yes, we're going to talk about that. There's more strikes occurring in Iran. It's going to be a little later in the show. Thomas Saul says the word racism is like ketchup. It can cover almost anything, eyelashes, jeans. However, if one asks for proof, then they're labeled racist, white fragility. Yes. The destroyer to all trolls. Her eyes look freakishly apart. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't use filters on your stuff. You don't use the filters. That's an issue. That's what happens. That's what happens. All righty. Bella is a sweetie, and she is. All right. So Iryna Zarutska's murderer has 14 prior arrests. He was ruled incompetent and avoids a trial. The 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee finished her evening shift at Charlotte Pizzeria and boarded the Lynx Blue Line home. The Carlos DeJuan Brown Jr. stabbed her 3 times from behind without warning or provocation. She was killed. Brown, 34 years old at the time, he had 14 arrests in Mecklenburg County alone, with charges stretching back to 2007. This was not an unknown man. He'd been in contact with the legal system his entire adult life. Iryna had nothing to do with it. This week, Trump-appointed U.S. District Judge Kenneth Bell ruled that Brown is incompetent to stand trial. He's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. In court proceedings, he claimed the government had implanted materials in his brain that were controlling his actions. Judge Bell determined he cannot understand the proceedings against him. Hey, look at this. Joe started it off. Thank you so much. I'll start. $2. Thank you, Joe. With that, folks, that means we are now just $98 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and $48 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much, Joe, for being so generous. Is that really what Candace looks like without the filter? She looked like an alien or something. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just nuts, right? Bella's all scrunched up tonight. Yeah, she's curled up real weird tonight. I don't know why. She's just, I don't know. It's just depends on how she lays, how she lays makes her look different. So I could always blow the camera up a little bit bigger and you could see her better. But classic schizophrenia. Yeah. And the result is no trial. Brown will receive psychiatric treatment. If he is ever restored to competency, the case could theoretically proceed. The restoration process can take years. It's often never happens. And her killing became national news because, in Congress passed Iryna's law in her memory, legislation designed to address the vulnerability that allowed someone with his record to remain free. Hey, happy Florida girl. Great to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. The law exists. The man who killed her will not stand trial. 14 arrests, a Ukrainian refugee killed on her way home from work, and the system's verdict is incompetency and indefinite suspension. Outbursts in court after federal judge finds DeCarlos Brown not fit for trial.
And state. There will be a mental competency hearing for the man accused of stabbing and killing a Ukrainian refugee on a light rail in Charlotte last year. The hearing will determine whether the suspect DeCarlos Brown is mentally fit to stand trial. He is facing federal and state charges, including first-degree murder. There will be a mental...
This is crazy, right? It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy. And as I don't know if you guys know who this is. This is Moshi Moan. This is a guy that goes by Mr. Medicare. Very prominent person in the internets. And he says, this violent repeat offender is too mentally ill to stand trial. Let's hold him for 4 months, then let him out again. Too crazy for trial should mean too crazy for society. He should never walk the streets again. I agree. Hey, Lady Bama, great to see you here tonight. Thanks for being here. My brother worked with Candace at the Daily Wire. I told him that I liked her, and he said, I don't know, man. She's weird. Well, I have to agree. Hey, Derek, what's up, buddy? Great to see you. Frames and Rhythm. Awesome. The man who murdered Iryna Zarutska is found incompetent for trial. Unable to stand trial on both state and federal charges. Yeah. What was he doing running around? What was he doing running around? That's the question, if he's so crazy. Madman accused of slaughtering Iryna Zarutska raves at the judge as he's ruled not fit for trial a second time. Pat Hacker says, you want to bet he is released again at some point, probably because medical field gets tired of caring for him. If that happens, then we are truly lost as a society. Truly, truly lost as a society. This is a local news story. Man accused of killing Ukrainian refugee on Charlotte train ruled incompetent to stand trial. The footage looked like he just quickly tapped her with a knife. Oh, so he should have been let go, like they said. Well, we're going to get into that whole, we're going to get into, Jasmine Slavey Crockett and her take on the whole Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf thing a little later in the show.
Just yesterday, a state court found DeCarlos Brown, the man charged in the murder of Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska on a Charlotte light rail train last summer, incompetent to stand trial. Court documents submitted
What happened?
by his defense team say a mental evaluation found him incapable.
What is going on? Is my internet acting retarded, stupid? What is, sorry, people. Let me figure out what's going on here. I'm having some kind of issue. It's not my internet.
To proceed. Brown does have a lengthy... Yesterday, a state court found DeCarlos Brown, the man charged in the murder of Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska on a Charlotte light rail train last summer, incompetent to stand trial. Court documents submitted by his defense team say a mental evaluation found him incapable to proceed. Brown does have a lengthy criminal history and mental health issues as well. Zarutska's murder last year led to
Why was he
Iryna's law
free?
in North Carolina, which eliminates certain forms of cashless bail and creates a new category of violent offenses in which a judge or magistrate must impose certain conditions for pre-trial release, including GPS monitoring. Now, Michael Easley Jr., who formerly served as the top federal prosecutor in this part of North Carolina, is explaining its impact.
Public safety and mental health have to be an ongoing conversation that we're having in unison and in tandem, because one affects the other. And if we underinvest in one, you're going to have problems in the other direction. So the critical key here is that we keep those stakeholders moving forward and get these prosecutors and these judges the resources
Yep, I agree.
they need. You're going to have problems in the other direction. So the critical key here is that we keep those stakeholders moving forward and get these prosecutors and these judges the resources they need.
And DeCarlos Brown is also facing federal charges, and he remains in federal custody. He'll need a separate hearing to determine his competency in federal.
Well, he already had the hearing. That was the thing. He had the hearing today. So, federal hearing. He says, as a result, attorneys, U.S. District Judge found their client is not currently competent to stand trial. Defense attorney said in a filing that Brown insisted they provide the judge with the following information. I'd like to tell the court I have a body emergency. Someone has full access to my body, and they're controlling me wrongfully. This is just crazy. Yeah. Kay Bean says that Crockett would say that she impaled herself on his knife. That wasn't big enough to kill anyone. Yeah. We're going to get into all that. Watch Carpenters They Live. Pig Losi told us who really the government is. The reptilian lizard Cheney type. That's right. Brown knows the system, what to do to get out of a murder trial. Yeah. Should be institutionalized for the rest of his life. West Pro, I agree. We need to bring back state mental hospitals. Yes. Yes, please do the thing with the like button. It really helps pump it out there. Yes. Just popped in to say hi, Ginger. Have a good night. Well, you too, Ginger. Thanks for stopping by. The devil made him do it. Well, it could be. I truly think he's schizophrenic, not like Nat Turner, who killed 50 whites in 48 hours. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. 50 whites and whoa. That's a lot. Brown told his lawyers he wants a court order directing law enforcement to investigate his body emergency. A forensic evaluation by a mental health examiners was filed under seal in the federal court in April. It found Brown is presently not competent to stand trial, but that his prognosis for restoration to competency is favorable with appropriate medication therapy. So they'll medicate him and then try him, I guess, maybe. Brown is suffering from a mental disease or defect that renders him unable to understand the nature or consequences of the proceedings or to assist properly in his defense. The judge ordered Brown committed to custody of the attorney general for hospitalization and treatment. Here's a question that I would really like, next time I talk to one of these lawyer guys like Joe or Bronca or Rob or anybody, I'd like to know why they can't just try them in absentia. They try people. If you don't show up, if you ditch out on court, they can try you in absentia without you there to present a defense or anything. They just put forward the evidence and they try you in absentia. Why can't they do that to somebody who's mentally ill? Why do they have to be able to, you know what I'm saying? If they can try somebody who's not there, who's gone, why can't they try somebody who's just mentally unfit? Just have the trial and then say, oh yeah, he's crazy, but he's guilty. I mean, am I wrong? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, if they can legally try you without you even being in the courtroom for whatever reasons, why do they need you to be able to help with your trial? Sounds like a double standard to me. Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing? Great to see you. I thought diseases were physical, not mental. Well, it's whatever they need it to be at the time. He's been arrested 9 to 11 times, but this time he's mentally ill. I don't buy it. He's probably on drugs. Yeah. It's a great point. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like really interesting to think about, ain't it? Like, because they try people all the time. If you abscond, like say if you're on bond and you run away, they'll just try you in absentia. They'll have the trial without you, find you guilty and sentence you, and then that's it. Many of the whites Nat Turner killed had been kind to him. He admitted he heard voices, but some saw him as a prophet. The defendant just sits there and does not testify. Yeah, what's the difference? The right to face your accuser? Well, yes, you do have that right to face your accuser. But Gigi's mom, that's what I'm saying. But if you abscond and leave, they can try you without you being there. So why not, if you're mentally incompetent, they can't just try you? I don't know. Just asking questions here. Yeah, exactly. If you're not there physically or mentally. Exactly. Why not? I don't know. Maybe we need to pass a law. So once the period's over, the judge will determine whether Brown's competency has been restored and whether the case can move forward, whether continued treatment is needed, or whether Brown cannot be made competent. So basically this guy's going to be in a hospital instead of a jail. Yeah, why do they always feel the need to have the perpetrator in a courtroom, especially if they say nothing the whole time? Without the person there, is assumed the person is competent, but with mentally, even if there's a mind, is gone, in my opinion. Maybe. I don't know. Good points, I guess. So yeah, this says madman who assassinated, slaughtered Iryna Zarutska on Charlotte train has deranged rant at judge. Material in my body. Well, after him, thanks to him, there was some material inserted in Iryna's body, and then a bunch of material left her body, namely her blood, that kept her alive. So he shouted about wanting to press charges against the FBI and asked the judge whether he had reviewed his evaluation and a letter from his mother. Wow, so he knows about his evaluation. He's aware of that. He knows about the letter to his mother. So maybe this is all an act. I don't know, man. She was very beautiful too, man. It's a shame. I mean, even if she wasn't beautiful, it's still a shame, but I don't know. Suspected killer will likely receive medication and treatment for up to 4 months to try to restore his competency. If Brown does not become competent, he can be held in custody under federal commitment laws and a later hearing can determine whether he can be forcibly medicated. So, so he could just refuse his medication? He was previously evaluated at the Metropolitan Correction Center in Chicago. What the hell is he doing at MCC in Chicago? Why is he at MCC in Chicago? This happened in South Carolina, right? Or North Carolina? Why is he in Chicago? The court found his prognosis is good to be made competent. The court ordered he seek treatment and medication. We have to make sure that we have a case that is airtight on appeal, airtight on post-conviction litigation. We have to make sure the defendant has all the due process the Constitution affords them. And this is one step in that process. I don't know. Sometimes I think we give some people a little bit too much. Look at this. These assholes there. Please vandalize this. How about you vandalize your face? Of course, it's an act. How many times has been adjudicated for crimes and not found insane? Saying. But this stuff pisses me off, this. I don't know. It wasn't entirely clear what he was yelling out, and we've seen since the beginning of the case, he says there's some sort of material that controls him. Yeah, the devil. Zarutska fled Ukraine as a refugee after Russia invaded her country, was returning home from her job at a pizza restaurant when authorities say Brown stabbed her on a train. Horrific surveillance video from the carriage appears to show Brown sitting behind her before standing up and plunging the knife into her neck. The woman died within minutes. Brown fled the scene and was arrested shortly after. It was clear he said white girl. Yeah. No, he did it because she was white. That's what I'm saying. This is like ridiculous stuff. Let's have absentia tribunals, public servants guilty. Next paddy wagons. Yes, yes. Good discussions question. He isn't voluntarily absent. He appears in court but can't assist his own defense. I don't know. I mean, I understand that, and I don't want this rule to be applied. I don't want this rule to be applied to everyone. So that's what I'm saying. But I just don't know why. Like, it's on video him doing this. It's kind of like there should be different rules when you're like on video doing it. But then again, if those were the case, they would just come up with fake AI videos saying people did stuff. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there is zero doubt in anyone's mind that this guy murdered her. So the fact that this goes on like this, to me, seems like a waste of our time and money. Sounds like he's putting on an act, but would need to know the history of care to determine if there's any grounds to take the claim seriously. Probably not. Sounds like a good rule to me. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know, man. He was previously found not competent to stand trial in the state's case following a mental evaluation. A separate evaluation carried out by the DOJ's Bureau of Prisons also determined he was incompetent. If you're mentally absent, you should get a criminal conviction even if you're held in a mental hospital. Something like that, right? That's what they could do, is they could be like, well, he's crazy, but he's fucking guilty, so he's going to be held in a, like, we should have maybe a different prison for crazy people, just like crazy people prison. Instead of a hospital, it's a prison, but it's just filled with crazy people. And maybe they just get pumped full of Thorazine every day so that they just sit there and drool on themselves and can't hurt anybody. I don't know. Is that cruel and unusual? Is it? I don't know. I mean, they'd be medicated. They wouldn't hurt themselves or others. I don't know. Destroyer says, unless they allow the victim or their family or friends or family to inflict pain on the perpetrator after they're found guilty, then it's pointless. There's very few long-term mental facilities left in the U.S. It's crazy. It is. So, yeah, so there's this story, and it's just basically, it's the same thing all over the place. Man accused of fatal train stabbing found incompetent. Competency evaluation delays federal case. Trial for the man charged in Ukrainian woman's killing is delayed for mental health reasons. Oh, mental health reasons. That's why. That's why. All right. All right, we'll jump into this next story here. This post says, just in, it's official. With the stroke of a pen, President Trump signs into law a $70 billion funding package for ICE and CBP. Guilty but insane? Yeah, why not? Guilty but insane. He's guilty, but he's insane. So we don't put him in prison with regular prisoners. and we don't put them in just a mental hospital with crazy people that haven't hurt anybody. We put them in a place for crazy criminals. Like, why not? Why don't we get a place like Arkham Asylum from Batman, where we just the criminally insane? That's what a home for the criminally insane. Doesn't that sound better? So it's just for criminally insane people that are insane criminals. That's it. I don't know. Bella would love to come on if somebody would donate $25 or more. She would come on. I don't think there's a cure for insanity. No, there's not a cure, but that's why you just have to house them and pump them full of Thorazine. He should still get a criminal sentence in case he's ever let out of the mental hospital. He needs to pay for his criminality. Yes, definitely. I agree. Says a lot for our world being likened to a tolerant asylum. Well, maybe it is. We're all living in it. Hey, Jonathan Marcus, how you doing? American Dreamer says, Jim, were you in CFC this morning? I got up late this morning. I didn't catch most of the show. I was doing some stuff with my grandson, so I couldn't really watch today. Unfortunately. I'm sure it was really good, though. As a family member to a schizophrenic, it's hard to get them help, even if they don't voluntarily agree. Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to just, like, if they're locked up and you just pump them full of Thorazine or whatever it's called. Cheese Thompson, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me, too. Afuera, yes. This is how the Joker gets away with his crimes. It is. Alcatraz, something like Alcatraz. You unblocked everyone? Oh, okay, cool. Well, let me say, I'll type something in the chat right now and tell me if you see it. They got pills for everything. Just don't take them unless it's like lithium level. Okay. Already open Alcatraz. Yeah. Okay. As an asylum. Yeah. Open Alcatraz as an asylum. That would be great. Yeah. They're still responsible for their actions, insane or not. I agree. Hospital for the criminally insane used to be a thing. Prison farms used to be a thing. We need to go back to what works. Yes. Yes. Donate for Bella. Yes. Hello, American Dreamer. Hello, American Dreamer. I said it on all platforms. Hey, Catherine K. Great to see you. Yes, I see you. Awesome. Thank you so much. Put them in Azkaban. Something. I'm just saying, there's ways to make this work. We could figure something out. So this funds CBP and ICE all the way through his end of his term, fiscal year 2029. Thanks for passing past messages along, Jim. No problem, Karen. Oh, no problem. American Dreamer. Yay. I see you. Okay. Daisy Girl. Did you hear that Tom Hallman is sending ICE to New York City? Man, Dummy's not going to like it. Yes. They said it's going to be the largest ever ICE deployment in U.S. history. I'm like, yes.
This morning, I'm thrilled to sign the Secure America Act to immediately and fully fund the Department of Homeland Security through the end of my term. So we won't have that to be talking about anymore, Lisa.
No, we will not, sir.
We'll give the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol, and that's what they are, they're heroes, what they have to go through to keep us safe, the support and resources they need to defend our borders, protect our homeland, and to keep America safe. This morning, I'm thrilled to sign the Secure America Act.
Well, that's awesome, right? This is awesome. Deport every last illegal alien criminal in our country. Not some, not many, all, yes. Mass deportations, please. We should be able to send a lot of people home with 70 billion. Yes, a lot of people. Trump signed $70 billion immigration bill capping lengthy fight. Yes, capping the lengthy fight over it. Lengthy fight. Sorry. Oh, let's celebrate with Bella. Yeah. Thank you so much, American Dreamer. So we do have Bella Vision now for the whole evening. Let me fix her camera so that's the way everyone likes it. Get her nice and centered in the screen. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much. That means with that, we are now $73 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, everyone. American Dreamer comes through. Makes me think of the song Lithium by Effervescence. Amazing song, by the way. Yes. Kettle them up and ship them out. Yeah. Hubby's mom was on lithium. As a minister, I went to Angola to minister to men that were in the terminal illness portion of the prison. They had a chapel there. This was before 1999. Wow. I learned, there's a famous quote from a TV show I really like called Justified. It has this guy, I can't remember what his name was in it, but he was a guy who said, I learned grounds beautification at Angola. So he learned how to cut grass in Angola. Yes. Thank you, American Dreamer. Yay, Bella. Yes. Your brother took lithium and Thorazine at 35. All right. I'm sorry. That's terrible about your brother. Trump should ask for volunteers to drive the illegals to the airport. I volunteer. Shit, I help carry the bags. Just get them out. Yes, right? Yes.
Consensus for that to happen. As it heads to the House, we'll have to wait and see the discretion of the House Speaker when it'll hit the floor. But any amendments that are added to this bill as it stands will mean it goes back to the Senate for another vote-a-rama. So I would imagine that he will want to just cleanly pass this and send this to the president's desk as soon as possible.
Yes.
So, Torian, the renewal of FISA did not pass. Why?
No,
and explain to
because
our audience what that is.
Yeah, I don't want FISA to pass. Make them get a warrant. Make them get a warrant. I don't want them spying on Americans without warrants. President Trump signed a bill into law to fund the Department of Homeland Security's immigration enforcement agencies on Wednesday, bringing an end to the month-long feud exposing deep divisions on Capitol Hill. HJ Remy, so great to see you here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. This morning, I'm thrilled to sign the Secure America Act, which this is what we saw. He was flanked by key members of Congress and his cabinet. The House approved the long-sought $70 billion funding package on Tuesday evening in a 214 to 212 vote after the Senate passed the measure following an 18-hour marathon vote series last week. The fact that there was Republicans that voted against this should tell you everything you need to know about those so-called Republicans, or I like to call them Republicans. Republicans. It's ridiculous. Republicans. We will give the heroes of ICE and that's what they are, heroes. We'll give them what they need to keep us safe. House Republican leaders were on hand for the signing, along with Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso and Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo, John Thune. President Trump said the legislation provides crucial funding for domestic law. Why do they call him Mr. Trump? Why not President Trump? He is the president. What are they doing? What are they doing with this Mr. Trump baloney? He's the president. Call him Mr. President, not Mr. Trump or President Trump. I don't get it. Is that the compromise for the Save America Act? No, this is not the compromise for the Save America Act. This is just the funding bill for ICE and them. So the standoff began in January after two deadly shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis, which prompted the Demon Rats to seek to rein in the immigration agencies. Well, here's the thing is the Democrats, the Demon Rats, were the ones that sent these people out to confront ICE to try to stop them. So this is all contrived and bullshit by the Demon Rats. Zoran, the moron, is going to lose so many voters for a potential reelection when ICE comes to New York to detain and deport illegals. Yes. FISA is an absolute scam, requires too much faith in the crooked prosecutors. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay, you want to spy on foreigners overseas? You don't need a warrant. You don't need a warrant for that. They're not American citizens. But you want to spy on American citizens? Get a warrant. Bumpkin says, death penalty, swift and solid. What would you identify as unacceptable behavior to qualify those who should be chemically removed, as in Canada? What are intolerable behavior to qualify removal? I'm kind of confused, Bumpkin, by your question. Are you talking about death penalty cases? What should be removed? I mean, I think, heinous murders, heinous murders of especially children. I personally think pedophiles should face the death penalty. People who are convicted of raping kids should be, they cannot be, there is no rehabilitation for someone who rapes a child. So they should just go bye-bye They should be shuffled right off this mortal coil. Democrats went back and forth at the White House and Republicans over a possible compromise. The talks broke down because the Democrats just want to keep all the illegal aliens in the country. That's what they want. And we're like, no, they can't stay, have to go. And they're like, no, we want them to stay. And they're like, no, we want them to stay. And they're like, no, they have to go. And they're like, no, we want them to stay. And so it was just ridiculous. And they didn't lead anywhere, the talks. So in a departure from normal appropriation process, Republicans opted to fund the bulk of DHS with the help from Democrats while moving forward with funding the department's immigration enforcement on their own, using budget reconciliation, which allows the party in a majority to approve legislation with direct budgetary consequences without help from across the aisle. Yes, anything that's beyond acceptable for a civilized society. Yeah. Ironically, Canada doesn't have the death penalty, but they've killed over 100,000 with maids. Yeah. A pair of developments in the administration threatened to derail the funding. First, a dispute over funding related to the president's White House ballroom, the East Wing renovation. And then the initial reconciliation included $1 billion for the Secret Service for security related to the complex. Like, why was that a big deal? You need security. I don't get it. Just as the ballroom disagreement neared a resolution, the Trump administration raised a new hurdle with the anti-weaponization fund. GOP leaders were forced to scrap plans beginning voting last month. That's because they're a bunch of things. The Democrats would never give in like this. Republicans are so easy to roll over. So easy. Virtue signaling at its most grotesque. Yeah, they're so easy. Republicans are so easy to roll over and surrender to the demon rats. On Wednesday, the president said Blanche has tremendous support in the Senate after he nominated him to officially become the attorney general. So yeah, so that's happening. So at least we know now that people won't be working without any money in the Department of Homeland Security anymore. That's a good thing. Okay. We had this from the White House.
Behind me because they're not behind anybody. They're great. This morning, I'm thrilled to sign the Secure America Act to immediately and fully fund the Department of Homeland Security through the end of my term. So we won't have that to be talking about anymore, Lisa.
No, we will not, sir.
We'll give the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol, and that's what they are, they're heroes, what they have to go through to keep us safe, the support and resources they need to defend our borders, protect our homeland, and to keep America safe. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson. He's incredible. Where is Mike Johnson?
Right here.
Mike, you're doing an incredible job. Not a big majority.
Just
rather have 40 or 50. I don't think you'd know what to do. He'd say, what are we doing?
That'd be no fun.
He's done an amazing job. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, and Todd is up, and I hear he's got tremendous support in the Senate, and he's got tremendous support everywhere. Actually, he's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne. Where's Mark Wayne? He gave up his Senate seat. He had a guaranteed seat for the next 40 to 50 years. And he gave it up to be Homeland Security because he just wanted to
serve.
Yep, they're amazing, amazing. As well as Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's here, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. President.
And John is, you're incredible. From day one, we got along,
Thank you,
right?
Mr. President. Absolutely.
First day I met him. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, one of the bravest people.
Yeah.
And what he went through is incredible. And I actually think it looks better now than he did.
We're going to win the game tonight, Mr. President.
Oh, is it tonight?
Tonight.
The baseball, I'll be watching that. And House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, who is an unbelievable leader, actually. He's just so highly respected. And he's in Minnesota, and he's ripping them because he knows what's going on. I mean, it's you have your chance now, Tom, because people have really found out about it.
Well,
So I want to thank you for the work. No, but he's working with our people. They look like Elliot Ness. It looks like Elliot Ness and the gang up there, right? They're finding billions of dollars of fraud, and Tom Emmer is really helping us. Thanks, Tom. Thank you. And thanks as well to Senators Lindsey Graham, who had a big victory last night. He
Yeah.
won by a lot. And no runoff, no nothing. They had a lot of very capable people running against him, and he just blew them away. So Lindsey Graham, congratulations. And Chuck Grassley, Rand Paul, who's here. Hi, Rand. Boy, oh boy, it's nice to have Rand. It's a good thing to have Rand. He knows what's important. Eric Schmidt has been an incredible senator, wherever you may be. He's tall enough. He's usually not too hard to find. And Bernie Moreno. Is Bernie here?
Yes, sir.
Where's Bernie? Hi, Bernie. What a job, right?
Absolutely.
So how's the race going in Ohio?
You're very popular there, and you'll drag every Republican.
I hope so. I love Ohio. We won by a lot, but you ran an incredible race. It was
A big assist.
they weren't giving him a big chance, and he ended up winning quite easily, right? So
Thank you.
it was great.
Yeah.
We're also pleased to be joined by Representatives Lisa.
It's possible that has something to do with it when they threaten to shut down the international airports and say, well, we're not going to process any customs in international airports in sanctuary cities because we don't have the money. Sorry. So it's possible that's why. I still would like them to do it anyway, though. So we're going to watch a little bit more of this just to see if anything else interesting pops off, and then we'll jump to the next story.
Lisa McLean, Jody Arrington, and Jody, where's Jody? Jody?
President.
You're doing a great job, Jody.
budget chairman.
Garbarino, Laura Lee, thank you. Riley Moore, a newcomer who's doing really well. Guy Reschenthaler, Derek Van Orden, as well as Angel Sister, Chris Story, you know that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we appreciate it, Chris, we appreciate it.
Thank
For
you.
more than, thank you very much, appreciate it, being here. Gone through a lot. For more than 100 days, congressional Democrats tried to block all funding for the
Demon rats.
Department of Homeland Security in a
Not Democrats, demon rats.
reprehensible attempt to throw open the borders of the United States of America. They want to drag us straight back to chaos and crime of the crooked Joe Biden administration, one of the most corrupt administrations, probably the most corrupt ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And we're not going to let them do that. I have to say that Washington just had some crime numbers out, and it's the lowest number, best crime numbers we've had, they say, in 58 years. So we went from being a crime-ridden city, our capital, being a crime-ridden place, to being among the safest cities in the country. I'm so happy. And you're big beneficiaries because most of you live here, you hear all the time. The press, the media, and even actually some of the media, a couple of people that
I just want to point out to everybody too, I got a ton of stories to talk about tonight. We can go real light. I've got 30 stories lined up for tonight. We'll see how many we can get through. And I want to thank everybody who signed up to subscribe. We are so close to 2,500 subscribers on this channel. We are like 17 away, and we'll be at 2,500. And I just want to remind everybody that when we get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel, there will be a 24-hour stream when we get to 10,000. So just let everybody know. Get us, the faster we get to 10,000, the faster. I got quiet. It's all right. Windows is really pissing me off. Windows better knock it off. Windows keeps turning down my mic. I don't know what is going on with Windows. Keeps doing it. No, I just turned it up. Windows turned it down to 88. Why is Windows doing anything at all? It shouldn't be touching anything. 24-hour stream, that's outrageous. Yeah, as soon as we hit 10,000 subs, we will be at 24-hour stream. Has that ever been done before? I'm sure people have done it. Yeah, I'm sure people have done it.
not suspect. A couple of people truly treat me unfairly, but they came up and they thanked me because it's so much. We have a safe city now. We also have a beautiful city. We had 22 fountains. Every one of them didn't work. One of them, probably the best was one that hasn't worked for 50 years. That was about the best. They've all been out of commission for 50 years or more. Can you imagine that? They were graffiti strewn, grass growing through the cracks, and they were in terrible shape. And all 22 have now been opened. And the most magnificent possibly of all, the one in front of Union Station is beautiful. You see that? It was all graffiti all over the place. We, through a lot of work, we got it looking maybe better than it was the day they put it in. But the one that they're all talking about is the almost 2,500 foot long, that's taller than any building in the world, actually. There's no building that's 2,500 feet tall, I don't think. But it's like twice the height of the Empire State Building, as an example, much wider. So we just got that open last night. We went to do it before July 4th, and it is incredible. It's called, it was originally called, 1922 it was built, it was called the Reflecting Pond, or the Reflecting Lake, some people called it. But it was supposed to be a reflection. It never worked from 1922 because there was stone on the base, and no matter what, it always leaked because you have stone and you have lots of crevices, and we have nice stone out there, but if you go between the stone, it leaks. And so it never really worked very well. And it was a bad color. It was gray. It's concrete and stone, so it's gray. And I had the idea, along with some great people that worked for us. Doug Burgum was fantastic. His group, Greg, everybody. And we worked very hard, but it was going to cost $400 million, and we did it for about $10 million. It was going to take 4 years to build, and we did it in like a month, month and a half. And we would have had a construction site out there for years, and it wouldn't have worked when they built it. So when they told me what they were going to do, I said, that's not a good idea. I've built many swimming pools.
Are you talking about Jenny from Forrest Gump? Jenny, and that was running. I'm sorry to see we have to pay for the MMA fight on Paramount Plus, unless I'm missing something. I think they're going to work that out. I believe they're going to work that out because it shouldn't have to be paid for. Like, I know they're giving away 85,000 tickets for free for people to see it in person, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't see why we should have to pay. I mean, it should be free. It should be free or something. It should be carried on some local TV somewhere. Man, it turned my mic down again. Let me see if there's a way to do this. I have audio enhancements off. Allow apps and Windows to use this device. But there doesn't seem to be any way for me to stop it. I have it off already. I don't know. It's not giving me a way to do it. It should be free. I agree. Yes.
As a builder, I built hundreds of them. And I got one of our contractors, I had him take a look. And he said, oh, we can do a great job. If you could just give us a decent surface. The surface was inside, so we sandblasted the surface. We fumigated it. We took out 11 dumpsters, big dumpsters full of garbage. It was all garbage strewn. Some of the garbage.
I did look at your comment, Karen O, and I went and looked. It says that stuff's all off. So that's why I don't understand why it's doing it. Disable the hidden communication attenuation feature. Turn off loudness equalization. AI. I don't see. I'll have to look later because I don't see it. I don't see it as an option. It just says off. I have audio enhancement set to off. So I don't know. I do not know what's going on. You may have to go into local group policy editors as an admin to lock it down. It just started doing this. It never used to do this before. They regulate the volume for headphones now. Yeah, I know. They never used to do this before. It just started with this last update. No, thank you for, I'm going to have to look, though. I'll have to look if there's some way to do it. I don't want to just do it right now. Free in-person tickets ensure a packed house for good looks for pay TV.
Garbage was there for years. It was strength. It's industrial strength. It's used for, we did a much bigger job than originally planned because once we put them, so we're very proud of it. It's going to be great. Now we're doing a new service. They did a hell of a job, but everybody's looking at that reflecting pool. They can't believe it. Reflects. We used a dark blue. Argue with Martin Luther King because I don't know. But the Secure America Act provides $38 billion to ICE, $26 billion to Border Patrol to ensure these critical law enforcement agencies have the necessary resources to do their jobs, protecting our borders and getting criminal aliens out of the country. And starting on day one of my administration, we took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent, and open border people out of this country. We got them out. I'll give you an example. In Washington, I don't even know if you know this, it's not just policing. You have criminals, you have career criminals. There's nothing you can do to make them nice. They're tough people. They're bad people. Some of them had records 22, 23, one had 28 arrests and rough arrests for murder. And we took out almost 5,000 people out of Washington, D.C. And if you remember, so 2% of the people create 91% of the crime.
That's right. 2% of the people create 91% of the crime. Yeah, they update things we never needed them to. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, so that's great. So this bill's signed. The money's going to be funded. Trump's just trying to make America great again, and people are just trying to stop him, and nobody knows why. All right, on to the next story. That's just great, isn't it? We can all say thank you, President Trump, for everything you're doing to make America great again. And then another guy who's trying to make America great again is Marco Rubio. He just launched a major crackdown on the birthright citizenship scam. The State Department shut down sophisticated birth tourism network in West Africa. Good. End the invasion. SCOTUS should do the right thing and abolish it for good. Under President Trump, the State Department is defending the integrity of U.S. citizenship by ending birth tourism schemes. No foreigner is permitted to obtain a visitor visa for the primary purpose of acquiring U.S. citizenship for a child by giving birth in the U.S. One U.S. embassy in North Africa revoked over 100 visas for birth tourist parents who came to the United States primarily to give birth so their children would get U.S. citizenship. A U.S. visa is a privilege, not a right. The State Department is taking action around the world. Stop this abuse. Dismantle birth tourism networks and hold accountable those who try to scam our system.
Citizenship. The cost, forgetting about the fact that it's wrong, citizenship. The cost, forgetting about the fact that it's wrong, the cost of birthright citizenship is barely not affordable by our country. It's going to cost hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's in their hands. What can I tell you? It's a common sense ruling. It's common sense. It was exact timing, and it's about the babies of slaves. Thank you for that question. Citizenship. The cost.
That's right. It's about the babies of slaves. Yes. The State Department uncovers birth tourism network across the world. U.S. Embassy sophisticated birth tourism network wherein 100 foreign nationals were using fraudulent documents to get visas. It's crazy. State Department's uncovered several birth tourism networks in West Africa, Europe, and North Africa where embassies found evidence of plans to facilitate individuals traveling to the U.S. to give birth. Anyone found to be involved with birth tourism in any way should be permanently banned from entering the U.S. Yes. Yes, don't call it the death penalty. Call it the unearthing penalty. Genome Editor, what's up, buddy? Finally caught you live for a bit. Well, thanks for being here, Genome. It's great to see you. I hope you've been having a good time. I hope you're doing good work. Make it 20 years retroactive, if not more. Would be nice. Definitely. Yeah. Include the staff and the organizations and the birth tourist mothers. The best way to deal with it is just deny visas to pregnant women from these places. Yes. Can't just shut it all down all of a sudden, causing chaos at airports. Expected mothers can't get refund tickets. Wow, this is a crazy story. Maybe we should look at this real quick. Wow. A State Department bus birth tourism networks that were helping foreigners get citizenship. When the Civil War ended, we adopted the 14th Amendment to make the children of slaves automatic citizens. We apparently wanted scammers from North Africa to send pregnant ladies across the border and across the ocean to give birth to new Americans. But at least in this case, the fraud was caught. Yeah. Under President Trump, the State Department is defending the integrity of U.S. citizenship and ending illegal birth tourism. No foreigner is permitted to obtain a visitor visa for the primary purpose of acquiring U.S. citizenship. Here's the latest details. Wow. U.S. Embassy West Africa uncovered sophisticated birth tourism networks of more than 100 foreign nationals using fraudulent document and visa fixers to get themselves visas in order to get U.S. citizenship for their children. We shut it down, revoked the foreigner national visas, coordinating with local authorities to systematically identify and cut off similar operations. In Europe, an embassy identified more than 400 suspected birth tourism cases. Wow. Since 2024, investigators traced them to at least 6 companies that coached applicants on what to say in their visa interview. and they arranged U.S. houses for them to and set up delivery plans. Wow. We shut it down, revoked their visas, and permanently banned them from traveling. One embassy revoked over 100 visas for birth tourist parents. Consular officers working with law enforcement using data analytics identified several networks abusing the system. Visas of privilege, yes. Of course, if you come here from India on H-1B or F-1 and you illegally jump the border and give birth in El Paso, then your children are as sterile American as apple pie. But at least the most obvious fraudsters are being stopped. We are doing the bare minimum. We should be doing more. We should be doing more. State Department dismantles birth tourism networks in Africa and Europe. Isn't it nice to not have to worry about Carmelo Anthony getting off? Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't worried about it anyway. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. It's not the airport. It's the hospital line. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hold on a second. I don't know. It's not I can't figure it out. It's starting to really piss me off that it keeps going quiet on me. It keeps getting worse. An estimated 33,000 children born are rewarded birthright citizenship annually solely because their foreign parents arrived in the United States on a temporary visa, often a tourist visa, before they were born. Decades later, those American-born children can sponsor their parents for green cards. The birth tourism industry is a widespread among Turkish nationals. Oh, you mean like Chunk Yogurt's nephew, Hassan Piker? His parents came here on a tourist visa and popped him out and then brought him back to Turkey. And now we have to deal with his ass all the time, talking about how he's an American citizen. I don't think he is. I really don't. I don't think he is. You got Russian nationals doing it in Florida, Chinese nationals in California, Turkish nationals in New York, and now Middle Easterners in Illinois. The State Department's official said in an X post that they recently brought down West Africa's sophisticated birth tourism network of more than 100 foreign nationals, all just trying to get U.S. citizenship for their children. The agency revoked over 100 parents' visas. Same thing in Europe. Single embassy uncovered 400 cases of birth tourism. We shut it down, revoked their visas. In December 2020, the DOJ expanded a massive birth tourism scheme, exposed the massive birth tourism scheme in New York City, where more than 100 children born to foreign visitors in the United States were awarded birthright American citizenship. Likewise, in 2019, they uncovered a scheme involving Chinese nationals across California. 8,500 U.S.-born children were awarded citizenship after their foreign parents arrived on a tourist visa solely to deliver the child. The Supreme Court needs to say this is not legal. That's what needs to happen. The Supreme Court needs to say this is not legal. Epoch Times, the same State Department says it's dismantled birth tourism. Newsweek says U.S. visa update. Trump administration outlines crackdown on birth tourism. So they escalated the global crackdown on birth tourism. You notice I put it in quotes, birth tourism, like they're going to say it doesn't happen. It's crazy. All right. Well, the Supreme Court needs SCOTUS. You got to rule that this doesn't apply to foreigners on visas and stuff like this. This is ridiculous. You can't have somebody sneak across the border. You can't have somebody come for a short visit like that and then go back home. And then all of a sudden we have these Manchurian candidates infiltrating us. This has got to stop. The Constitution is not a suicide pact. And it also doesn't say any of this stuff. Those words, under the jurisdiction thereof, has to mean something. It has to mean something. So please put a stop to this. All right, next story. Oh, here we go. CF Rob says, we love Bella. Here's for the vet bills. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. With that, folks, means we are now just $68 away from adding a first additional hour to the show, which I really hope we get to it tonight because I got a ton of stories for you guys. I got a whole bunch of stories. Fraud vitiates everything from its inception. I agree. I think so. KNJ doesn't know what jurisdiction means. KBJ, Katanji Brown. I don't know what a woman is, Jackson. So there was a testimony today on Capitol Hill. I think it was today or yesterday. I don't know. Maybe it was yesterday. ActBlue CEO Regina Wallace-Jones pled the fifth repeatedly.
And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Now, here's the thing. Yes, everyone does have a right to not answer questions that might incriminate them, but that pretty much means that whatever they might say would incriminate them in breaking the law. I mean, we can all agree to that, right? You have a right to not incriminate yourself. But it kind of means you if you answer it, you're going to put yourself in a trick bag, because you're either going to have to lie or you're going to have to tell the truth. And if you tell the truth, you're admitting to crimes, right? Please hit the like button for the stream so that YouTube algorithm shares it out. Yeah, to like-minded individuals. It would be very nice. Good food, so no vet is needed. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, this is we got a bunch of videos from this, and we're going to talk about it. All right, and we've been going an hour, like I said. So we got about another hour and a half to go, unless we hit the goal, which I hope we do, because we got a bunch of stories for you guys tonight. You had to have a tooth removed a couple of weeks ago, $900. Wow, a dog tooth. Wait a minute. Did the dog bite you and their tooth got stuck in you, or you're saying your dog needed a tooth removed? Just saying. Questions. She should have just said, yes, I am guilty. Blaine Pargo. Oh, geez, they don't even care anymore. We're at war. Is that an admission of a crime? It's not really an admission, but it kind of is. A canine tooth, yes. But she isn't a public servant. How does she not have to answer? She pled the fifth. She's pleading the fifth. After Representative Garcia claimed that the hearing on ActBlue is nothing more than a charade, Rep. Jordan made him eat his own words. Let's be clear. We're here because ActBlue's legal counsel said Ms. Wallace lied to Congress, willfully and knowingly misled the Congress of the United States. That's why we're here. Jordan asked her 6 questions, and she refused to answer all of them. So let's see.
Mr. Garcia, in his opening statement, said we're here because Republicans are playing politics. Let's be clear. We're here because ActBlue's legal counsel said Ms. Wallace-Jones lied to Congress, willfully and knowingly misled the Congress of the United States. That's why we're here. Oh, by the way, who was the legal counsel, Covington Burley? Who was her counsel? Dana Remus, not some Republican. She was former White House counsel for Joe Biden. That's who said that. That's why we're here. So I just have a couple questions for you, Ms. Wallace-Jones, just a couple. Your board chairman said ActBlue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How many foreign contributions did ActBlue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How much money did ActBlue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Why did your entire legal team quit? Your in-house legal team?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Did your legal team quit because of reduced fraud standards?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Understand. And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the good work you and your.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Thank you so much. America First says, America First says that I don't have a reason to support Jim, but he's a wise guy, and so am I. Support this thing of ours, everyone. Well, thank you so much. With that 10 right there, folks, that means we are we are now just $58 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. So thank you so much. And we had a donation on PayPal from Lisa Day. Lisa Day, thank you so much, Lisa. Gave $30 on PayPal. $30. Thank you so much, Lisa. That means we are now just $28 away, folks. Just 28 away from adding a first additional hour. So thank you to everybody. Where is Lisa? I saw her here a minute ago. Where'd she go? I know I saw her a minute ago. I know I saw her. Your dog needed a tooth removed. I bought some science diet for my dog, and the piss ants wouldn't even get in the bowl. Oh. Very pompous, yes. Loretta Lynch did the same, plead the fifth. Yeah, they all do. So did, in other words, she's guilty as hell. Yeah, so did what's-her-face, Lois Lerner. Remember when they were spying, when they were doing stuff, going after conservatives at the IRS? She gave this big statement and then decided to plead the fifth, which you're not really supposed to do. She doesn't want to incriminate herself. Is that why she's pleading the fifth? Her smug smile tells a story like no other. You ain't kidding, nobody here, right? Is that Alex Jones's sister? I don't know. Could be. I thought there was a precision about government employees, contractors have to answer some questions. I don't know. The entire legal team quit. So who's the counsel? They got a new counsel now. Why not just keep her all day and ask her, just make her answer that question all day? Jordan chickened out. $30 for 30 stories. Thank you, Lisa Day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll try to get through as many as possible. I have high hopes that we're going to have some extra hours tonight, and we're just going to knock them all out. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Watch this. Representative Loudermilk is stunned after ActBlue pleads the fifth to a question clarifying her name. All right. I'm sure they will get a strongly worded letter about this fraud and cheating. Well, this is supposedly stuff being done. We'll have to see. Supposedly stuff being done. Let's see. She wouldn't even clarify her name.
I do have a series of questions for you, but I want to make sure I'm respectful. Is it Miss Jones or Miss Wallace Jones?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Didn't expect that one, but I think I see where this is going.
Yeah, I think I see where this is going. Yes. Gundam has an idea. Throw her in a van, black site, sweat Miss Little Piggy till she squeals. That's right. Zero accountability for people like her. Yeah. My name is Slim Shady. She is a coward. ActBlue is the Democrats' money machine. They failed to implement fraud prevention measures. They accepted millions in foreign donations. This is the opening statement from Jim Jordan, which, well, I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. We're not taking foreign contributions. That's what Ms. Wallace Jones said in November 2023, responding to a letter from the chairman. She said, passport information is required from donors providing an address outside the United States. Quote, we have multi-layered screenings in place to root out foreign contributions. She put it in a letter, put it in writing in a letter to Congress. Now, the only problem is ActBlue's outside counsel, as the chairman said, sent a memo to Ms. Wallace Jones where they said things were a little different than what she described to Congress. They said ActBlue's response to Congress was not entirely accurate. They said, quote, ActBlue did not have the rigor in its review of overseas donations that was required or that it described to Congress. Quote, there's a substantial risk some of the funds were impermissible contributions from foreign nationals. And ActBlue's staff was aware that its system was not as robust as necessary, making these contributions appear, listen here, knowing and willful. There's intent right there. Knowing and willful and an effort to conceal. Wow. Knowing and willful, not entirely accurate response to Congress in an effort to conceal. You know what they call that? They call that lying. So the question is, who are you going to believe? The law firm or ActBlue? Now, a few things to consider when you're evaluating that question. that we've uncovered, the committees have uncovered. First, there's just the general suspicious activity. Foreign IP addresses with 237 contributions in one day. 1,700 transactions in 7 days where the donor's country did not match the country of the donor's IP address. That seems fishy. Second, the documents the committee obtained did not square with Ms. Wallace-Jones' response to Congress. We had one ActBlue employee who in an email said, changes we have made over the last year have already meant we're accepting more fraud. So there was already some fraud. They changed their standards so they were accepting more fraud. ActBlue board member Kimberly Peeler-Allen admitted up to, quote, 38 million in ActBlue contributions in 2024 had signs of a foreign origin. Third, as the chairman said, there were 5 people on the fraud prevention team at ActBlue who were concerned about foreign contributions, and all 5 have either resigned, been fired, or been placed on leave. All 5. The manager of the day-to-day fraud prevention resigned. Vice president of customer service in charge of fraud prevention for 2024 resigned. Top lawyers at ActBlue, general counsel Darren Hurwitz fired, given a $170,000 severance package as long as he didn't say anything without first checking with ActBlue. Aaron Ting, associate general counsel, resigns. ActBlue refuses to give us, even though we've asked for it, his resignation letter. And legal counsel Zain Ahmad resigns after being retaliated against for blowing the whistle to the board about what was going on. And as the chairman mentioned, we deposed all 5 of them.
Okay, my question is, why hasn't anyone been arrested yet? If all this is true, why have they not been raided by the fucking FBI? Why haven't their doors been kicked in? Why haven't all their records been confiscated? Clearly, you know there's crime. What the F is going on with the FBI? What is happening? Why? Why is this going on? Someone should have been arrested already. This clearly is a rampant fraud, rampant crime, a massive conspiracy involving billions of dollars to subvert the U.S. government, to subvert our elections. What is happening? Talking to Congress before an indictment or possible trial is what stupid people do, right or wrong. It's not going to help a possible indictment or conviction. The 5th is a beautiful thing. I know it is, but I'm saying, why is this happening instead of people being arrested? Yeah, what the F? Hit the like button. Yeah, come on, people. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. It'll really help. See, the regulations are very lax. Yeah. You're on the phone, but you're taking inventory. Thank you. Because the Republicans only know how to complain. Ugh. Sometimes I think, man, it's very sad. It's very, very sad.
Every single one of them, 146 times, took the 5th. This is a tale as old as time. You get caught doing something wrong, and when you're questioned about it, you deny it. And when evidence emerges and questions persist, you take the 5th. Take the 5th. Now, why would all that happen? Why would all that happen? Well, I think there's probably 3.8 billion reasons why all that happened. $3.8 billion ActBlue took in the 2024 election cycle. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
We know that there's something going on here, and that's why the investigation persists. And our investigation is different than what the Justice Department's doing, but we appreciate what they're doing too. And mostly, I want to thank this committee. I want to thank Chairman Stile and this committee for the work they've done. But for that letter sent, we might not have figured this out. So I appreciate the chairman, the good work he's doing, and
I yield back my time. Well, ActBlue pleads the 5th as House probes illegal foreign donations. This is the woman right here. See? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. She got a lot of gums. What is that? What is that on her tooth? You see that tooth? Is that like a, what is that on that tooth? Is that like some kind of device or some kind of, what is that? Look at that tooth. What is that? What is going on there? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Everything's effed up. Oh, well, trust the plan. No, I'm not trusting any plan. Congressional hearings are just kabuki theater. Yeah. The DOJ, FBI, NSA, CSA, IRS are all politically corrupted, and the FBI is more powerful than Congress. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Congress is a political body, not the justice system. Oh, I know. But if they know this, if they know this has happened, All right. If they know this is happening, why hasn't somebody else done something about it? The people that can do something. You know. What's happening? Okay. Why hasn't someone else done something about it? Is the question. And instead of the 5th, they could at least make things more interesting by claiming sovereign citizen status. Oh, that would be funny. I think Jordan, in an interview made after that DOJ has an open investigation running, this was parallel theater. My word. Yes. Maybe Congress should hire Nick Shirley. Ooh, that would work. That would work. Stop the cheat. Yes. Stop the cheat. Definitely. ActBlue CEO pleads the 5th as House probes illegal foreign donations. Yes, we need more Nick Shirleys. Yes, we do. We need 1 million Nick Shirleys. An army of Nick Shirleys. So the CEO of the largest demon rat fundraising platform pleaded the 5th Amendment rather than testify to Congress about allegations that they funneled foreign donations to federal campaigns. We know they did. Who can do anything about it if the FBI and DOJ won't? I don't know. That's a question. Who could? Who could do something about it? Who could? We don't know. The people demand constitutional Congress, DOJ, and judges, not cartelled criminals. We need less cowards. I don't see much coming from Congress. Yeah. Just hearings and people complaining. So opening remark, we're significant concern that ActBlue may have allowed foreign donations on their platform. Not may. They have. Not may. Have. All 3 are illegal. Style, another Republican chairman, looking into ActBlue, have claimed that Wallace Jones misled Congress about the strength of fraud safeguards on the platform. Joe Morrell, top Democrat, dismissed the hearing as a partisan exercise. President Trump and his allies are abusing their power to target ActBlue. Hey, King of Biltong, what's up? How you doing? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys hungry? Could you guys, go for some little snack or something? You like something that's like full of protein? It can tide you over, give you energy, not weight you down. Why don't you check out King of Biltong over there? He's at www.biltongusa.com. You can get your Biltong needs filled. 50% protein. Yes. They have 8-ounce bags that make excellent gifts. They're very tasty. If you like a little spice, you can get the peri peri or the ghost flavored. They have Wagyu and Angus. Get your differences, whatever you like. You can also get some Drowars or some kalbanasi, which is a type of like a sausage or similar like beef sticks. And one of them is beef and pork. The other one's beef. And they also have other stuff. They have snacks, crackers, cakes, cookies, all types of things. So go on over to www.biltongusa.com. Get yourself some Biltong and tell them Jim sent you. Use promo code Jim and save 10% on all your Biltong needs. Links are posted in the chat. Yes. I need a steak. Well, it's good steak stuff. Put the juicy meat in your mouth. No backdoor delivery available. That's right. Honey barbecue. I don't know if he has honey barbecue. You can talk to him. Do what David does is I recommend the Angus and Wagyu Biltong. That's right. Check it out. Come on, man. Only 26 more to go. Thank you. That's right. $26 to the first additional hour of the show. Just 26 away. Oh, thank you, King of Biltong. I really like your stuff. So last year, Trump directed the Justice Department to investigate ActBlue, not based on facts, but dislike. Oh. Yeah, they do not do flavors. They do meat. We will not be intimidated. The fundraising site has helped the Demon Rats and their causes raise $19 billion since it was founded in 2004. Who was founded in 2004? Nearly $2 billion of those funds flowed to Democrats during the 2024 election cycle. Mike Johnson said last week that Congress can't live on $170,000 per year, and therefore Congress should be able to trade stocks. Who in this chat believes $170,000 is insufficient for Congress's salary? I personally. I personally believe that they should get paid a lot less. I think it should be a part-time job. I think there should be a lot more Congress people. You know, like districts should be small, maybe like 80,000, 100,000 people. If everyone gave $2, where would we be? Well, if everyone gave $2, we would be like, we would have like 3 extra hours. Just saying. Just saying. You know, that's a whole lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. So that's going on with ActBlue. We saw what's happening. They're investigating. The Federalist says the CEO of the fundraising platform set to testify. She'll be on the hot seat Wednesday. She can expect a grilling from House Republicans about donations coming from foreigners and such. But she just pled the fifth. She pled the fifth. Minimum wage and Obamacare for them. Definitely. Yeah, they should get paid by the hour. And only by the hour when they're actually on the floor or taking phone calls from constituents. No more of this just free money for everybody. They should get paid per bill passed. Oof. Well, I don't know. That might make them actually pass more bills, because the way I look at it, why is Congress there all the time anyway? It's not like we have stuff that they need to work on. They need to only work 1 day a year. They'd only get paid 1 day a year or something. I don't know. And in particular, why there are and have been lax fraud standards at ActBlue. What's the link to Cash App? It's on a screen. I'm sure one of the mods could put it in there. It's pinned in the chat. It's pinned in the chat. If you go to the pinned message in the chat, it's pinned in the chat. It's a pinned into the chat. So yeah, so that's going on. And then this happened. Secretary Hegseth says CENTCOM's going to be very busy tonight, which is why Admiral Cooper is not attending the press conference with them. This comes as reports that Trump's in the Situation Room discussing strike plans on Iran. Sounds like 47 is fed up.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be here at U.S. Central Command. Admiral Cooper, the commander of CENTCOM, was going to be here with me. We just got done with detailed briefings. But, of course, he is busy because CENTCOM, Central Command, will be busy tonight.
Thanks, KB.
President Trump said we will be hitting Iran hard, and we will be. Because Iran has a chance to make a good deal, a great deal, to codify what they said they've been willing to do, and they haven't been willing to do it. So, as President Trump said, they've been tapping. You can see when someone's trying to tap on a deal. Instead, they're going to have tap bombs dropping on key facilities in Iran from the United States of America. And that's not because we want to restart anything we don't have to restart. It's because the War Department is prepared to set the terms to ensure that we get the kind of deal President Trump expects. And Admiral Cooper and the team here at CENTCOM has done a phenomenal job from the beginning on Epic Fury and through this blockade, ensuring that we have a chance to reach that end state, which is Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which they say they don't want. And so since we're so close to that negotiated deal, if that's the case, they should step up and do it.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Hey, thank you so much. I Rule donated $5 on Cash. Thank you so much, I Rule. With that means, folks, we're now just 21. We're just blackjack away. 21 from adding a first additional hour to the show. For Bella, Yes, you did. Thank you so much for the 5. Thank you. Congress is so corrupt. If they have no desire to work as servants for Americans, they want to be filthy rich, they should not be in Congress. You know what? I 100% agree. I do. I think they have too much power. They need less power. CENTCOM has a nice looking building on that base. Yeah, they do. Thank you so much, Irul. Gosh, I hope he's fed up. Yeah. How happy bridge and power plant day. It would be nice. And in the naked light, oh, maybe. I don't know. Look at it. This was the video they played. Happy high-speed pass. So, yeah, good stuff. So, yes. And the reason is because Iran has targeted bases in the Middle East, in Jordan, and in other Gulf countries. Iran launched attacks Wednesday on Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan after U.S. forces launched retaliatory strikes after the downing of an American helicopter. Bahrain and Kuwait activated their air defense systems in response to the Iranian attacks, while Jordan said it intercepted 5 missiles. Iran's IRGC said it targeted 21 sites hosting U.S. air and naval assets across Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan. The semi-official Mir news agency reported. The IRGC said the strikes hit 4 sites at Jordan's Al-Azalaq base, including hangars housing F-35 fighter jets and a command center, and another site hosting the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Hexeth is a badass. Yes, Jonathan Marcus says, Cash App for you. Well, thank you, Jonathan Marcus. Thank you for the $10. Jonathan Marcus with 10. So that means right now we are just $11 away, just 11 away. That means we're just a yo 11. You guys play craps? We're just a 7 yo 11. We're 11. Yo 11. We're yo 11 away. Thank you, Jonathan Marcos. The attacks came just hours after CENTCOM said its forces completed self-defense strikes on June 9th, targeting Iranian air defense, ground control stations, and radar sites. Central Command said the strikes were a proportional response to Iran's recent attacks. Because we talked about this yesterday. We talked about that yesterday. Talked about it yesterday. Where is it? Where is it? No, wrong one. There it is. Yeah. President Trump has just met in the Situation Room about further possible strikes on Iran. Iran's going to be hit hard.
Are you thinking of attacking Iranian power plants and bridges?
Well, I'm not going to say that to you, but I could do that. Look, I could knock out. We have the most powerful. I built the military with these people approving it. They approved numbers that nobody would have ever thought would be. But we built it. We gave a lot to Ukraine through Biden. He gave a lot of money, a lot. But we're in great shape. We have a lot of storage capacity. But he gave a lot. And if you look at what's happened, when I left, our cupboards were full. He gave it. Now I sell it to the European Union, and they give it to Ukraine for the most part. But we have the strongest military anywhere in the world, and sometimes you'll have to use it. And we have to remember. And when people hear this, Iran very simply cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that. All they have to do is they have to start signing a paper. It's fully negotiated. We have a fully negotiated, but they're tapping and tapping. And I said, all right, let's give them a couple of more days. They're tapping because it's a meaningful paper. They know when they sign that paper, it's meaningful. The Obama deal, JCPOA, one of the worst, one of the dumbest documents I've ever seen.
One of the dumbest documents I've ever seen. The JCPOA. That's crazy. Wow, it's just crazy, crazy. 49 tomahawks just fired at Iran. Well, I would prefer just dropping bombs on them. Boo, baby. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. The Gap Band. Great, 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 great song. Great song. There was something else I saw too. Time to finish the job. That's right. They keep breaking the truce. They can't be trusted. That's right. Get rid of them. It's time. It's time. Get rid of them. Yeah, it's time. Time, it's time, it's time. It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time. There was another one I saw here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I know there was another one. Damn it. I got so many things lined up here. The riots going crazy over there. I swear I had another one. Oh, well. Well, it's not there. I don't see it. Yeah, Trump says the U.S. will attack Iran very hard today. K11 for Bella. Hey, Lurch Linger here. What's up, Lurch Linger? Thanks for being here, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm going to be living in a camper soon. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Rule 11. Don't. I don't want anybody to give me anything that they can't afford to give. That's not what I want people to do. I don't want that to happen. But oh, look at that. We got $5 from Lurch Linger. Thank you so much, Lurch Linger, for the $5. With that means we're just $6 away. Thank you so much. And iRule says, rewinding, I'm running late. Thank you. Down by the river. Down by the river. May God needs to refresh the world. We're going to go on the same page. Yeah. God needs to come get me now. No, iRule, don't do that, please. Thank you, Lurch Linger, because iRule just came through again. iRule.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Thank you so much, iRule, and everybody else. With that, $11 from iRule now means we are just $96 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. So thank you, everyone, for your wonderful donations. We're now 96 away from a second additional hour. Yes, thank you, iRule. President Trump on Wednesday told reporters the U.S. is going to strike Iran really hard. I've been working with Iran for a number of months. We've taken along to negotiate, and now they will have to pay a price. We're going to be attacking them. We're going to be attacking them very hard. Reset the goal. The goal gets reset on YouTube when the time runs out. So we still have a half hour on the goal on YouTube. So that'll stay up. And then once we hit the time on YouTube, I'll reset it for another hour on YouTube. But it's on this bottom scroll on the screen says the actual what the goal is, where it's at, and the numbers. So always pay attention to the scroll on the bottom. So it says right now we are currently 96 away from a second additional hour of the show. But as soon as we get past that, that way I can keep track of how much time I have. So once that expires in about a half hour or so, I'll reset it to another and add another hour. Why don't we hear the Russian people complaining on social media about communism? I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Very weird. Fox News just says, Trump says we're going to strike Iran very hard again today. I think we saw this, but let me see. I think we saw this already.
Well, we're going to be attacking them very hard.
Resuming bombing?
Yeah, well, we are. Based on the helicopter, I guess we have the right to do that. You know, they shot down a very incredible, actually an incredible machine. And at first they said they didn't do it. Then they admitted they did. It was sort of easy because we have the bomb. We actually have the bomb. Got very lucky that bomb didn't explode. That bomb was lodged in the helicopter. It didn't explode. It was on fire, but it didn't explode. It's just those two guys, they knew how to fly, but they got very lucky. And then we had the unmanned boat going very, very fast at speeds that you wouldn't want to go. That's why it's unmanned, I guess, because nobody can go in that. But they rescued. So both people are, fortunately, the pilots are okay. No, look, I've been working with Iran for a number of months, and they should sign their deal. It's a good deal. It doesn't give them the right to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, it totally prohibits them from ever having a nuclear weapon. And it was just tap, tap, tap. I don't know what they're doing. So they then shot at our helicopter, very expensive helicopter, by the way, but much more importantly, the two men, fortunately, they're okay. But an amazing rescue. If you ever get a clip, you won't believe the rescue, how cool it was. The equipment we have. Look, we have the strongest military in the world. And I gave them a break at the request of Pakistan, the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan are great. We stopped them from going to war with India. You would have had a nuclear war if it wasn't for me. But they became friendly to me, very friendly, and they're close to Iran, and they worked, and they still are working on trying them to do what's right. But we want a deal that's meaningful. We want a deal that works. We don't want to just have a Barack Hussein Obama deal, JCPOA, the worst deal. That was a path to a nuclear. It's the exact opposite. You know, I like on television, they say, oh, they should have kept that deal. First of all, it was over. It was a short-term deal. But that deal was a path to a nuclear weapon. This is a path against a nuclear. You can't.
Yep, can't get one. Can't get one. Can't get a nuclear weapon. That's right. Hey, we have another $11 came in from K Bean. Thank you so much, K Bean. Right here, right there from K Bean. Another 11 came in. So that means we are now 85 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you. Another 11 on PayPal from K Bean. Thank you so much. What's it say? Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic with a multi-party system on paper, but it operates as a highly centralized authoritarian regime under President Vladimir Putin. Power is concentrated in the executive and with limited checks and balances, controlled media, and suppressed opposition. Russia is a semi-presidential multi-party system on paper, but it operates as a highly... Okay. All right, I agree. That's... Okay. Very good. Very good. Very, very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Real quick here. Let me look something. Do this. Okay, so we have some video about the strikes that the U.S. is taking right now against Iran. All right, there we go. Big blow for Iran. IRGC Command and Control Center targeted by U.S. forces. Huge explosions. I don't know. This almost looks like this almost looks. This is huge. U.S. Air Force just launched a fresh wave of airstrikes. Over 30 fighter jets are currently targeting targets. Huge explosions in Tehran. Wow. Central Command claim Iranian media sources are claiming that Iran has attacked a U.S. warship. This is false. No warship has been struck. Iranians panic as CENTCOM just announced that Iran did not close the strait and 0 U.S. warships were struck. All contrary claims of the Iranians. Trump says, if you don't sign the agreement, we're going to bomb the shit out of you tomorrow. CENTCOM, commercial ships are continuing to transit. The ceasefire has been most violated ceasefire in the history of the world. 49 Tomahawk missiles launched.
Situation room overseeing these U.S. military strikes against the Iranian regime. He was joined by Vice President J.D. Vance and Special Envoys Kushner and Witkoff. The president telling Fox News at that time 49 Tomahawk missiles had been used against targets in Iran, along with fighter jets that were bombing positions about 40 miles outside of Tehran and also along the southwest coast of Iran that sits along the Persian Gulf. The president said, we hit them very hard tonight. He described the strikes as vicious and violent. He said the bombing will stop shortly, but if they don't sign an agreement, the president said, quote, we'll bomb the S out of them tomorrow. And so ultimately, the president is leaving the military option on the table. President Trump describing what it was like inside the Situation Room. He tells Fox News the Iranians called him and asked him to stop bombing. I asked him if he spoke directly with officials in Tehran. He said yes, top officials there, similar people that he's been dealing with before, trying to get this deal across the finish line. He says this ceasefire has been the most violated ceasefire in the history of the world. And Vice President J.D. Vance told me they are dealing with both moderate and more extreme voices inside of Iran. As for the state of play in the region, the Middle East is bracing to see if the Iranians are going to respond to these U.S. strikes.
Wow, let's see. Are they going to respond? Are they going to respond? Are they going to respond? So here we go. Iran is now begging President Trump's in the Situation Room. Vice President J.D. Vance is there in our ongoing bombing campaign. All right. We're going to bomb the shit out of them.
Currently in the Situation Room with Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Special Envoys Kushner and Witkoff. The president giving new insight into what is taking place as we speak. There is an ongoing bombing campaign against the Iranian regime. The president tells Fox News that 49 Tomahawk missiles were used to hit targets inside of Iran, some of them as close as 40 miles from the Iranian capital of Tehran. The president said that U.S. fighter jets are also operating over the skies of Iran, taking out radar systems and air defense systems in the southwestern part of the country, close to the Persian Gulf. This is all taking place as the Iranians are trying to get the United States to stop the bombing campaign. President Trump told me that Iran called him tonight. Top Iranian officials and President Trump spoke directly, according to the commander-in-chief tonight, as the president was sitting in the Situation Room. And he told me that the Iranians asked them to stop bombing. And the president said to me, the bombing will stop shortly. I asked him what will happen if the Iranians do not sign an agreement that was put forward by American negotiators. President Trump said, quote, we'll bomb the S out of them tomorrow night. And
wow, he's going to bomb the shit out of them tomorrow night. That's interesting. Joe says Trump miscalculated with Iran. He probably did not believe how really crazy they were. They don't care about living. He probably thought he was dealing with rational humans. It's possible. That's because they're terrorists. You can't make deals with terrorists. That's true. Our government is still there because of Mexico. Cuba's government is still there because of Mexico. The communist president there keeps sending humanitarian aid ships. Yeah, we're going to end up having an issue with Mexico, I think. I think we're going to have to... Trump should have answered the phone. No habla, moron. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So the president is leaving the military option on the table if the Iranians are unwilling to sign this good faith deal that would ultimately open the Strait of Hormuz and ensure that they cannot advance a nuclear program.
That's right. And so Trump also today said that the U.S. is taking millions of barrels of oil out of Iran every night. I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out, I can tell you it was very hard for me. I wanted to say it so badly. When it's over, you're going to see oil drop like it never has before.
Inflation to come down between that.
Oh, when the war is over?
Yes.
It's coming down.
I know you can't.
It's going to come down like a rock. And again, we're taking out millions, which I'm just announcing today for the first time. But we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil, millions of barrels. Every night, took out oil. But now I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out, I can tell you. It was very hard for me. I wanted to say it so badly, but I didn't want to ruin it. But it was very hard. But millions of barrels of oil has come out. And that's why it's at $85, $90 a barrel instead of 250. But we have the greatest military in the world, the toughest military in the world, just the best in every way. Nobody even close. There's no military that's even close. I rebuilt it during my first term. I'm using it now. When this conflict is over, Todd said, please call it a conflict, right? As opposed to the word war. He didn't like the word war, but it's sort of a conflict. It's a military operation. When it's over, you will see oil drop to where it was before.
Yeah, where it was before. Freedom Effect says the Iranian people begged Trump to bomb them rather than live under the current leadership. But the people will give up Islam or other religious belief to impose law. But will they? I don't know. That's why Islam is an ideology. You've reached the desk of FO because you've done FA'd too much. Yes. Everyone in the IRGC are Nazis. Yes, they need to go. Stock oil where? Thought all full. No, I think he's been, I think they said he's saying we've been taking the oil. But that we've been taking ships out at night of oil. I don't know. I don't know. It's the first I've heard of it. Trump. Yes. It's the first I've heard of it. I don't know. So this is the Iran announces a full shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz. This is from RT. I don't hear anything. Do you hear anything? I don't. It doesn't. This is like water to me. I see ships moving. I see ships. It doesn't look shut down to me. I don't see ships blowing up. So I think they're crazy with their announcements. America has launched a large-scale drone strike in Iran. Reports indicating the extent of the impact has caught Tehran off guard. That looks like an apartment building. Are we using drones now? We're using drone attacks? Wow. I don't know. I don't know if this is I think that dude is AI. Yeah, I did too. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if this is from Iran though. These buildings don't look Iranian to me. These buildings look more Ukrainian or Russian. So let's see. All US strikes in southern Iran. Video. Okay, it says this is a video of all the strikes. Iranian jet in skies over Tehran. They're saying it's an Iranian jet? Oh, buddy. If it was an Iranian jet, it would get shot down pretty fast. Yeah, that dude is AI or cardboard. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that RT. I think you're slacking. First footage of an IRGC fighter jets thundering over Tehran. Are they sure they're Iranian jets? Because I think they would get shot down by the U.S. jets. It doesn't look like something thundering. It doesn't look like a jet thundering to me. The explanation that came out was the ship's oil was being escorted, snuck through the strait, and is going to destined markets. I don't know. I'd have to look more into this. It's all breaking news, so I'm kind of like thundering. Yeah, crazy. We saw this already. Forces began launching additional self-defense strikes today at 5:15 Eastern Time against multiple targets in Iran at the commander-in-chief's direction. Saw this already. Mayor reports footage of fighter jet thundering over Tehran. Yeah, I don't. That's not true. U.S. launches new strikes. The biggest U.S. action since the ceasefire. 20 sites destroyed. Iran's military says it's on full alert, with the armed forces declaring that it has what it takes to defend the country. Yeah, I don't. So, wow. All right. And then on to the next story here. We have the DOJ launches an investigation into allegations of unconstitutional gun permit standards in Philadelphia. What's good, Jim? Took a break. What's going on? Old missile. Okay. RTs confused commercial flights for combat. Did you see the video of an F-14 taking off? No, they had an F-14 taking off. Wow, that thing should be in a museum. What targets are getting hit? So far, I don't know. I mean, I've seen reports that 49 Tomahawks were launched along with other jets and stuff. So I just saw some I don't know, just some videos being posted showing stuff blowing up. 2C had good map marking, various actions. Where are they at? Are they on 2C TV? Is that on YouTube or is that on? I mean, I guess this is what they have here. 2C TV has. Let's see.
Now, for those who are familiar with the Islamic Republic of Iran, carpet warehouses,
F-14, that's what I'm saying. There's
a
F-14,
number of
I'd
other
like to see
random
that.
glue factories, for example,
Any state that is
somehow
not
end up
constitutionally
having
carry
a
of
lot of
domestic
IRGC
enemies.
weapons
Yes.
and equipment and personnel hiding inside. Tonight, this happened. Yeah, you F around. Well, of course, you are going to find out. Just before the developments that we are getting.
All right, let's see here.
A few minutes, we are getting
some more stuff there. I'm just scrubbing through looking for any more videos of like stuff that has video of stuff exploding.
Fired and disabled the Cetabello oil tanker that violated the Strait of Hormuz blockade.
Oh, interesting.
I think the best thing to do is hang on. Somebody said somebody in the live chat. Oh yes, Google Play. Yeah, Google Play. Somebody said Surgeon23 says only snobs use Apple.
Zoom ahead 15 minutes or so. Okay. Right here.
We're going to put the drones over here. So these are the drones as well. And Parchin, just there outside of the capital in Tehran, to the south of it, air defense activity. So if we go down here a little bit. No, it's not Parchin. Where is the report? Hang on. The locations of everything that's being reported as we speak. Let's just quickly go to the next video from Tehran. This is the warehouse, the mysterious warehouse explosion. Let's have a look. I think this is the report from the IRIB, their state media.
ای بالاتر از میدون قیامه. پشت سر من یه انبار بزرگ گاراژ حدوداً به وسعت تقریباً 2000 متر مربع. وسطش هم یه ویله. چندین انبار و غرفه داخلش هست. بیشتر تو کار فرشن چیزی که ما داریم می‌بینیم. ساعت 19:44 دقیقه این حریق رو اعلام کردن. الان 8 تا ایستگاه تو محل با خودروهای پشتیبانی و تانکرهای آب شهرداری. بچه‌ها تو کمتر از 5 دقیقه رسیدن. از چند طرف دارن عملیات می‌کنن. سقف‌های شیربونی هم می‌بینید. چون سقف‌های قدیمی شیربونی بوده.
Wow. Big fires.
The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Yes, they have already launched towards Iraq. The IRGC are now hitting Iraq. There's also, yes, missile launch.
So Godspeed. Thank you for what you're.
Avoid crowds and demonstrations. Follow the U.S. Department of State security updates. The fighter jets and the bombers, obviously, who are now busy. There's a lot of activity from the US Air Force as we speak, but let's not forget that the US Navy is also pretty busy because they're not going to abandon the Strait of Hormuz. The blockade.
هم میهنان عزیزم، ملت ما امروز بهای سیاست‌های حکومتی را می‌پردازد که اولویتش نه ایران و ایرانی، که حمایت از تروریست‌های خارجی و ضد ایرانی است. رژیمی که به جای ساختن ایران، کشور را به جنگ، فساد، فقر و ویرانی کشانده است. در نتیجه جنایت‌ها و ماجراجویی‌های این رژیم، ده‌ها هزار خانواده ایرانی داغدارند. داغدار فرزندانی که جان خود را برای آزادی ایران فدا کردند. میلیون‌ها ایرانی زیر فشار اقتصادی، ناامنی و بی‌ثباتی روزگار می‌گذرانند. می‌خواهم به شما بگویم که رنج شما را می‌بینم، صدای شما را می‌شنوم و همان گونه که در همه این سالها در کنار شما بودم، تا روز آزادی ایران نیز در کنار شما خواهم ماند. در کنار شما که ایستادید، مبارزه کردید، هزینه دادید، زندان رفتید و جان خود را فدا کردید، اما تسلیم نشدید. شجاعت، پایداری و فداکاری میلیون‌ها ایرانی زمینه ساز تحولاتی شد که بسیاری از چهره‌های اصلی سرکوب و جنایت در جمهوری اسلامی از جمله خود خامنه‌ای را از صفحه روزگار محو کرد. این دستاورد پیش و بیش از همه متعلق به ملت ایران است، به زنان و مردانی که ایستادند، به جوانانی که جان دادند و به مردمی که از مطالبه آزادی و بازپسگیری ایران عقب ننشستند. امروز چهره واقعی این رژیم را ببینید. رژیمی که ماه‌هاست رهبر پیشین خود را در خاک نکرده است و توان رونمایی یا حتی انتشار صدایی از رهبر مفقودش را نیز ندارد. رژیمی که در درون خود گرفتار اختلافات، بی‌اعتمادی، آشفتگی و بحران تصمیم‌گیری است. رژیمی که از مردم می‌ترسد، از اینترنت می‌ترسد، از حقیقت می‌ترسد. نمایش‌های خیابانی این رژیم نه نشانه اقتدار که اعتراف به ضعف است.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have some breaking news. Clashes are now being reported between the US Navy and the IRGC terrorists in the Persian Gulf and also basically just around the Strait of Hormuz. We can quickly go back down here to show you on our map. Just to the south, the IRGC initially started launching from Bandar Abbas towards the Gulf of Oman and the US naval assets who are located here. But the Americans then also launched towards the Strait and also the Persian Gulf over here. We are now getting massive clashes around the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. Direct clashes between the US Navy and obviously the US Air Force are also helping. And of course, the IRGC terrorists were mostly at this point are either using their small speedboats or just launching drones and missiles from the ports in the southern parts of Iran. By the way, if you want to watch the full version.
Yeah. Dude hasn't been in Iran in 50 years. No, he hasn't. I mean, he's been out. His family, left. YouTube and Rumble. Yes, thank you. So that's what's going on there. So let's do this story here. So we'll keep an eye on it. If anyone sees anything popping off, if anybody sees any information about some strikes or something, they see something that I should be talking about, just let me know and I'll look for it. But I want to, there's a whole bunch of stories I want to run through. All right. A whole bunch of stories I want to run through. Yeah, no, thank you. DOJ launches investigation into allegations of an unconstitutional gun permit standards in Philadelphia. Wow. Does it look like targets on the straight? That's what it looks like to me. It looks like we're targeting a whole bunch of stuff. It's like we're targeting a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, pretty girl. Justice Department's investigating vague standards. Vague standards. Vague standards. Vague standards. What does that mean exactly? Vague standards. I wonder what that means. I've directed the Civil Rights Division through our Second Amendment section to defend law-abiding citizens from local authorities who infringe on their Second Amendment right to safely carry legal firearms. Yes, please like the button. Yeah, please hit like. Please subscribe and hit like and do all that good stuff for the algorithm. It really helps out. It really, really does. Yeah. So yeah, like and subscribe. We're so close to 2,500. I can smell it. Yeah. In 73, I remember my social studies teacher saying in the future, the word terrorist would become a common label. Well, it has. It really has. It's wise up, Philly. That's right. The Constitution says nothing about safely carrying any arms. No, well, the Constitution says you have the right to keep and bear arms, which would mean bear it. They're just, they're just like I agree with you. There should be no restriction on any way you want to carry it. I mean, the only common law vernacular thing called the what is it called? Something Southampton. It was like something of Southampton. It was called like this, where you weren't supposed to carry, like if you carried arms in a way that you would distress people. Show the math meme. Yeah. So Supreme Court rulings have held that permitting officials may not base licensing might not base licensing decisions on personal discretion. In the common law, the people can't carry firearms. No, it's been the common law that people could, going all the way back to like the Treaty of Southampton or something like that, which dates back to like the 1400s or 1500s. And that's what it has to do with like, people couldn't carry. That's where the whole strange and unusual comes from type of thing. Or like, you're carrying weapons that would like to terrorize people. That's where that all comes from. Law-abiding Americans, regardless of where they live, should not have to worry that their city will revoke their means of self-defense. The investigation that DIJ notes is primarily focused on permitting system of Philadelphia police and does not support armed obstruction of federal or local law enforcement. This is the reload. You was checking it out. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chris Bean, K Bean over there. I made you a moderator on Rumble too. In the 70s, we lived at the base of a mountain range, would carry our rifles down the street and go up in the hills. Never did the police show up. Yeah, I mean, it was just normal. People always carried guns. And 1215 is Magna Carta common law. Yeah, but after that, there was something called like something. I don't know why my brain is just frying. It's something Southampton, like the Treaty of Southampton, or what is it? Something. Geez, now I got to look it up. The Treatise of Southampton or something. I don't know. It's somewhere, man. It was a long time ago, and they basically said, people could carry as long as you weren't terrorizing. The Treaty of Southampton. It was something about you can't carry weapons to terrorizing people or something like that. DOJ opens Second Amendment investigation of Philadelphia police. They sent a letter to the Philly mayor announcing a new investigation, saying the DOJ is going to look at reports that the Philadelphia police is revoking gun carry permits for subjective reasons that don't match up with the state's law or the Supreme Court's Second Amendment precedents. The investigation will evaluate the policies and practices regarding issuance and revocations of licenses to carry firearms and their enforcement of the Uniform Firearm Act of 1995. The department will be assessing law enforcement practices under the Second and 14th Amendments of the Constitution. It's another escalating effort by the Trump administration to investigate and sue localities over gun restrictions or enforcement practices. It's part of a broader shift in priorities within the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, which now focuses on the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment is a civil right. It's number 2. First one is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of all that, freedom of assembly. It's all in First Amendment. Second Amendment's just guns. The Third Amendment says they can't put people in your house. Shit like that, Fourth Amendment, unlawful search and seizure. Fifth Amendment, right to remain silent. Sixth Amendment's right to a fair trial, legal stuff. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yeah. Statute of Northampton. That's what it is. You can't carry weapons to terrorize people. That's what it is. Not Southampton, Northampton. Statute of Northampton. Yeah. That's right. Sorry. I knew I had something like that. I'm not like a shit, there's a dead rat or mouse in the pool. Poor little guy. Well, maybe he's just thirsty. Maybe he's drinking. Yeah, the Statute of Northampton. That's the one they always try to use to say, like, oh, look, there was gun laws. We knew about gun laws. Here's this gun law way back then. So to say there was no gun laws, it's like, yeah, it's saying you can't terrorize people with your guns and weapons. I have a comedy show called The NBA Finals on as a background. Basketball is bad. Chud the builder. Chud the builder. I don't understand what Iran was thinking shooting down the helicopter. Can't leave that unanswered. Yeah. Well, this is after that. They shot down the helicopter. We responded, and then they decided to launch an attack on a bunch of bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan. So. DOJ, it's investigating whether the Philadelphia Police Department is revoking gun permits on the grounds that it doesn't believe permittees had good cause to need the permit. It outlined why it believes that subjective standard, which was at issue in the 2022 Bruin decision, violated the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court, in its landmark Heller division, held that the Second Amendment protects law-abiding citizens to possess weapons that are in common use for lawful purposes. And they're trying to twist that now. A lot of people say, well, they're saying but they don't, that gun's not used for self-defense that often, so you can't have it. It's like, that's not what it was. That's not what it was. Just the sight of a gun today puts people in fear, those that won't practice their Second Amendment. Well, that's personal fear. It's not subjective. Yeah. In 2022, the Supreme Court held in another case that permitting officials may not base licensing decisions merely on their personal discretion. Here it's alleged that the Philadelphia police use such discretionary standard to improperly limit the Second Amendment. Dillon promised PPD that this investigation would seek to minimize any potential disruption of the city and PPD's operations. Well, yeah, we had thank you so much. King of Biltong gave a gifted membership out over there on the Rumble. To Bumpkin56 received a gifted membership. With that means we are now just 80 away, folks. Just 80 away from adding a second additional hour. And speaking of which, I have to update the goal over there on the YouTubes. Thank you so much. Bumpkin was gifted a membership from King of Biltong. The Freedom says, got to run. Good channel. Well, thank you. I hope you come back and tell your friends. Tell your friends. We're trying to grow over here. Hey, Uzelian's here. What's up? Great to see you, Uzelian. No permission needed. That's right. We don't need permission. The Second Amendment is our permission. I won't, if Alex Jones is saying it's World War III again, that gets old after a while. Yeah, it does. It gets old after a while. It really does. Really does. Well, thank you, buddy. So yeah, with that, then I'm going to go over here to the YouTubes and I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to create another goal. for another hour, starting right now. All right. For 20 super chats of $5 or greater for 1 hour. And we're currently 80 away. So it's there in the goal so everybody can see it. We're 80 away. We're 80 away from adding another hour. Before I go, I have to pass a law telling someone not to terrorize people with your gun. That's a pathetic law. Yeah, well, the law was a long time ago, freedom. It was when people used to ride on horses with their weapons. And what it was is because people would ride into towns going, ah, with their swords out and stuff. So they say, well, you can't do that. But you can have your weapon, but you can't ride in. 7 minutes on a replay that was obviously 6 minutes ago. Come on, NBA. Freedom, freedom, freedom. If we conclude that there's no pattern or practice of violating the Constitution, we will notify you and close the investigation. If, on the other hand, we conclude there's reasonable cause to believe that such violations are occurring, we'll provide you and the public with our findings and aim to work cooperatively with the city to reach agreement regarding how best remedy these violations. If an appropriate remedy cannot be achieved through the agreement, the Attorney General is authorized to bring litigation in the United States District Court. Mayor Parker did not respond, but PPD's Office of Media Relations told Reload to reach out to the agency's law office, which didn't respond. Law-abiding Americans, regardless of where they live, should not have to worry what their city thinks about them carrying guns. They have a right to self-defense with the best thing possible, which would be a gun. CBS News says, Justice Department investigating Philly for violating Second Amendment rights. That's right. We saw all this. DOJ's investigating their good cause standard because they're not allowed to do it. I have my permit in the Constitution. That's the thing. Like, the Supreme Court should have said that this whole thing about, well, they have to be shall issue permits. No, there should be no permits. The Second Amendment, keep and bear arms. That's your permit. That's your permit. That's your permit. DOJ investigation into Philly over arbitrary permit to carry cancellations. Yeah, they're just going, oh, you carry your permit, but it's not, you didn't have a good right. Didn't have a good reason. Didn't have a good reason. All right. Now we're going to get into, Slavey Crockett. You guys know who Slavey Crockett is, right? You've heard the story. You guys heard the ditty. You guys have heard the story of Slavey Crockett. Hey, thanks, Anton. See you tomorrow. Need to clean in kids and put them away till tomorrow. Well, thanks, Anton. Thanks for being here. Carmela was carrying a military-style knife. Definitely should be banned. Obviously, could only be used to kill peoples. I don't know about that. I mean, I've seen pictures of the knife, and it looked like a knife that, I don't know. You shouldn't have been carrying it at school, but it's a knife is just as protected by the Second Amendment as a gun is. How did that come on? That's weird. Oh my goodness. That imbecile. Jim, you're killing me, Sauls. Jizbane Crockett. Yeah, I call her Slavey Crockett. Oh. Hold on. Well, we'll say it. As soon as reminds me, once we get done with all this, there's something good here. Well, we'll do it real quick. Real quick. Before we get into Slavey Crockett, let's get a laugh. Right, here's Trump. Trump is in Iran right now.
I run this shit now. All of it. I think I'll call it the straight up your ass.
Wow, that was good. Thank you for sending that to me. So Jasmine Crockett says that Metcalf instigated the confrontation. It was definitely green. Need to ban all assault knives. Okay. All right. If you say so. If you say so, West Pro. I think you're kidding, though, but I think you're joking. So Slavey Crockett says Metcalf instigated it. Why are you rolling on somebody and be like, get out? All right, let's see. We got a whole bunch. I got a whole heap of videos here from Slavey.
Also, I mean, can we just be real about this? Like,
who is, I mean, like, why are you rolling up on somebody and being like, get out? Like,
Correct.
this is, to me, this is the culture that is being instigated, mostly because of like, you know, y'all know how we say on the internet, don't let your president get you fucked up, right? Like, because people get bold. They get real bold with us right now, like, you know, and this whiteness and this replacement theory crap that they on and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, we the victim, because the fact that, you know, any kid would feel like it makes sense to walk in and see this particular kid. I mean, we've all interpreted that there was a race component to this.
Oh, you determined it was a race
And
component.
be like, oh, yeah, it's raining, but get out. Like, why? Like, why? Exactly. Also, I mean, can we just be real about this? Like,
Yeah, can we be real about it? So here's the knife, just so everybody, the Collin District Attorney's Office confirmed that this is the photo, shows a knife identical to the one Carmelo Anthony used. It's a 6-in-1 multi-tool knife that's 5 by 9 inches. That's not a 6-in-1 multi-tool. That's a knife that has a light or something on it. It has a window breaker on it, and it has a thing to cut. It's not this ain't a 6-in-1 multi-tool. This is some bullshit. This has a window breaker type of thing. It has a thing to cut seatbelts. It's a knife. It looks like a flashlight on it or something like this. Why was Carmelo rolling up in that tent? Yeah. I will say they shouldn't have kicked him from the dugout. She doesn't speak in sentences. Been hearing the bullshit all day. Got to mute for sanity. Okay. Prepare for your IQ to go down. That's right. Well, I'm sorry. Take the word like fuck and have a quarter. Blacks will never replace us because they have the highest abortion rate. Those are emergency knives. Yes, those are emergency knives. Sounds like a multi-tool. Yeah, but a multi-tool is one of the things that has like a screwdriver, pliers, like a Leatherman. That's a multi-tool. This is just a knife. No, it does not have a little spoon on it. It doesn't have any of that. You can see it's got the thing to cut the seatbelts. It's a knife, and it's got like a thing on the backside to knock out a window. That's about it. Yeah. Ooga booga Wuhan. Shit. What's up, Wuhan fried bat? So then here she is. She says there's one major factor over here, Slavy Crockett, in a Carmelo verdict.
Rep Crockett, you might have seen that Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. I want to get your reaction to the trial and the verdict.
My heart breaks. For so many reasons. And so I was just speaking to a student that is shadowing me who wants to be a public defender. And so it takes me back to what actually made me decide to get into this legislative work in the first place, because I know that our systems are broken. And what we saw with that verdict is the evidence of a broken system. Now, listen, from everything that I understand, which I wasn't at the trial because obviously I got a day job, but it's my understanding that Carmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing, I don't know what this tool was that they talk about, knife, or some refer to it as a tool. He ended up hitting Austin one time, and it was about where he hit him. One time, 2 inches. This wasn't someone who said, hey, let me stab you 5, 6, 7 times. And so when you're looking at the punishment range, there's a reason in Texas that it goes from 5 to 99 or life, because you are looking at how intentional, like how bad was this?
How bad was it?
35 years for a kid who had decided to go under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining, and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he didn't know who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of people don't know what it is to live as a Black person in this country, but just like you can give the benefit of the doubt to so many police officers when they go out and they shoot some Black unarmed person, even though they are trained, the fact that there was little to no mercy seen or humanity seen when this Black boy said that I was scared, or the fact that
first of all, he never said he was scared. You lying piece of shit. He never testified. Maybe if he would have got on the stand and testified and said what happened and what he felt like and said he was just scared, maybe they might have had mercy on him. Maybe they would have agreed with him. But he didn't. He didn't do anything. he had his fucking retarded lawyer say, oh, maybe Austin threw himself on the knife. He only killed him once. Sheesh. Yeah, he didn't kill him a bunch of times. Yeah. He barely murdered him in cold blood. Yeah. How bad was it? He just murdered someone. Yeah. He got justice served. Well, I think it should have been a little bit longer than 35 years personally. Don't chimp out. I'm sorry. I was doing a little chimping out. Sorry. I was chimping out. It was enough to put a 2-inch gaping hole in a person's heart. How much force did that require? Yeah, the system is broken. He should have got 50 to 75 years. Bitch, being at the trial doesn't make you an authority. Being at the crime does. Yeah. He was scared of the rain. Don't hurt nobody, toughen up his body. That's right. He was skipping class. Yeah, I mean, maybe he thought he was going to milt. He thought he was going to milt in the rain. He was going to milt. He was going to milt in the rain. It was going to mess up his hair did. He shouldn't even have been at the track meet. 35 years, Texas is going soft.
Honestly, anybody else who did something with such a small object, all I know is that it wasn't considered unlawful carrying of a weapon because the blade was not long enough. That they wouldn't even say, well, maybe this was more so something that looked like manslaughter.
Well, some people might say, why are you even bringing a knife like that to a track meet?
Yeah, people may say that, but walk a day in my shoes and then respond.
All right.
Because we as Black folks say, why is it that people need long armed guns when we are going out and having a First Amendment protest? But people say that's their right. They are allowed to do that. And again, it wasn't against the law for him to have it. It may have been prohibited by school rules, but he wasn't.
By school rules. So it wasn't forbidden by law. Huh. Oh, really? Really? Hey, what's up, Neil? How you doing? Parents spent the money raised for his legal fees, court-appointed attorney. Low, yeah? That's pretty done. It was a multi-tool, seatbelt cutter, knife, window breaker, murder weapon. Yes, it was a multi-tool. I saw something that said he was suspended and not allowed on school grounds during suspension. He was not the little angel they're trying to make out to be. I saw reports that he was suspended for bringing a knife to school. He shouldn't even have been at the track meet. How dumb are we? He pierced bone and cut the side of his heart. Yep, went right through his sternum. Went right through his sternum. Walk in my shoes. She's a lawyer. Yeah. If he was able to run away after stabbing someone, he was able to run away before stabbing someone. Yeah, the hard life of a Black person American, says the U.S. representative. Yes. The rain in Dallas-Fort Worth that day was like the rain in Miami, so it isn't a light rain that most people think of. I understand, but they said it had stopped raining by the time all this happened. He went there with a plan. He was suspended for bringing knives to school. Okay. Yes, suspended for bringing a knife. Yeah. Yeah, and I go out in the rain all the time. He had disciplinary action at school for threatening with a knife, got into fights. That's what people are saying.
At his school at the time, but it definitely was not against the law.
So you think race played a role in the verdict?
Oh my God. I know Collin County. So absolutely. Collin County is right north of Dallas County. And I can tell you that I have had cases that I felt like played out differently because of the counties that they were in. And unfortunately, that was not the county for a Black boy.
So if this were a white boy in his exact same position, you don't think he'd get a 35-year sentence?
I would guarantee you it wouldn't have happened. I don't even know if he would have been convicted, because if a white boy...
Well, that's weird, because a white boy by the name of Jake Long said something about if Anthony got off, that he would take care of it himself. And that guy's locked up right now on $1 million bond for terrorist threats. That's weird. But that the Black people who were running around telling the only good cracker's a dead cracker and all that stuff, those guys didn't get arrested or something. She grew up rich and went to private schools. Yeah. It was not a multi-tool. It was an emergency knife with additional functions. Yeah. Beyonce cries, boo-hoo-hoo. You don't know how hard it is to be Black. Yeah. He learned that move. Yep. He learned that move. Yep. It's still a very liberal county. Stop with the eyes. We all know they're fake. Yeah.
Would have said that they were afraid of a Black boy. Something tells me that that jury that didn't have any Black people on it, they would have believed him in his fear.
Well, there's so many different opinions on this case. I mean, even your Republican colleague, Randy Fine, he's saying that he should get the death penalty. Your take on that?
Again, racism.
Racism, always racism. Yeah. Ooh. All quiet on the frontal lobe. Yeah. And here she is saying the knife was not a deadly weapon, just a little knife.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with the like
Swiss
with
Army
the little
knife. Oh, it was a Swiss
scissors and
Army knife.
everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
And that's forgot it had the bag.
If it was one of the little, like I don't know, like I do think.
Well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I hurt him that bad.
That's why he went to his coach. Was like, I don't think I hurt him that bad. Collin County. Okay. If she didn't listen to the trial, maybe she should be quiet. Obviously, it feels good to be white. Y'all should try it sometime. Oh, Taylor Swift. What's up? You look like Bubbles' sister, daughter. Of course she's gonna cry. The jury ain't black. Yeah. I think I can feel my IQ dropping more. This idiot drones on. I'm sorry. Collin County is a conservative county in Texas, not liberal. I don't know. People, I'm hearing both things. I'm hearing two different sides of this. Never married, no kids, no boyfriend. What do we know of? I was maliciously beat up in school by kids many times. One black guy came at me one day and beat me up. The next day I went where I normally went. I brought a pocket knife with me. I was sitting. It had a 3.5-inch blade. I bet she has never tried a case in Texas court. John Wick only needed a pencil. A pencil. He killed 3 guys with the pencil. Yeah. Thank God we get dipshit takes like this. So the weapon Carmelo used to kill Austin was not a deadly weapon. Got it. Yeah. And then here she says, black women live in agony every day that I promise the Metcalfs have never lived through. So their kid was murdered. And this fucking asshole says that her life is harder.
Black women, especially black women who have black male children, live in fear and agony every single day. A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way. And we're going to have just some real conversations about race in this country.
Yeah, we're going to have some real conversations. But the fact of the matter, Miss Slavey Crockett, I don't think you're going to like the answers you get. It might look a little bit like what's happening in Ireland and the UK. Just saying. Just saying. And check it out. Back when it was fashionable, they're afraid of black on black crime. Yeah. What she is giving you is a black woman's emotional tank. Talking point, clickbait. Yeah. Crockett, when you don't know something, you might just want to keep your pie hole shut. There's a reason she lost. Facts matter. The Bronca Show went over the trial notes, and nothing she's saying is true. Nothing she's giving you the black women's emotional take. No, I know. I watch a fucking pencil. 3 guys with the fucking pencil. Hammers and nail guns aren't deadly till they are. Jail stories, yes. You live scared because that's how your dumbass parents taught you. Race definitely played a role. It was black crime against whites. Yeah, I agree, Jay Schwartz. 5th grade teaches parts of the body and their functions should be known critically of the heart, yes. But here we go. Back when it was fashionable to fake hate crimes, back when Jussie Smollett was doing his, Crockett claimed that she became a lawyer after being the victim of a hate crime. Her story was looked into by multiple journalists, and none of it checked out. Yeah. In 2025, she changed her story completely of why she became a lawyer. Now it wasn't because of the hate crimes, but instead her genius that led her into law. Look at her in 2019. Slavey Crockett.
I had a great background as it relates to my ability to deal with numbers, and it was going to pay well. So I was like, I'll be an accountant. Unfortunately, around my junior year, I was the victim of a hate crime or two. And so were a group of my friends. all at the same time. Cars were keyed with the N-word. We received hate mail in our on-campus mailboxes. And at that time, my school hired the Cochran firm. And there was a lawyer who graduated from University of Houston who was assigned to me. And it was the first time in my life that I felt helpless. And I was like, I want to help people that are going through what I've just experienced. And at that point in time, I decided that I was going to sit for the LSAT.
I did Little Shop of Horrors. So when I was in college at Rhodes in Memphis, I ended up doing Little Shop of Horrors.
What part did you play in that?
I was one of the women that was singing.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the chorus.
Okay.
And so I ended up doing it, and the mock trial coach recruited me to do mock trial. And I was like, no. By this time, I decided I was going to be an accountant. Didn't want to do anesthesia no more. Still didn't want to talk to people. So then he goes, no, you should do mock trial. And I said, that's for the kids going to law school. Long story short, he recruits me. I do mock trial just my senior year. I become a national All-American. He says, you should go to law school. So I applied, got a full ride, and said, fine, if I don't like it, I'll quit.
Wow. So the story's changed. She wasn't, now nothing had to do with hate crime since they looked into it. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. So tired, boss. This dumb black woman doesn't speak anything but lies. Yes, just lies. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Obviously DEI. She just wants to lie. She's just trying to be a fraudster. So amazing. One of the most important stories in the news now. She doesn't know anything about it. Yes. If it was white with the same demeanor, she would be targeted. Yes, definitely. Ain't smart enough to do fraud even. No. Ain't smart enough to do fraud. Yeah. Savannah Hernandez has a good point. Says this is the result of decades of this country pandering to black people so much that they now think their mere existence is more painful than a mother whose son was murdered. The majority of black culture is violent and has been a net negative on society. Shame on all of them. And she said, oh man, no, they don't. Their son was murdered, but black women suffer more. Because didn't you see Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures, how they did that stuff in the movie about the post women? Yeah. And the Squiggly Airmen? Yeah. Stephen Miller says, this is psychotic. What's she saying about that? About don't know what black women live through? The Metcalfs don't know what it is to be a black woman. I mean, I don't know. A lot of black women's sons get murdered, so. Right? I mean, by other black people. Jim, did I hurt you? Fine, I'll take another 2 minutes. Now we're almost done with this. This was the last one I wasn't playing anymore. My understanding is he repeated the challenge about touching him 5 times. Oh, okay. Touch me again. I mean, now if he would have said it, if Carmelo Anthony would have said it like Francis, Psycho, remember Psycho, Francis from Stripes? Any of you homo touch my stuff and I'll kill you. Any of you homo touch my things and I'll kill you. If he'd have said it like that, I think it would have been called a warning, not a threat. TMZ wrote a story about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Would a white teen get the same result as Carmelo? No. He would have gotten more. He would have got punished worse. Carmelo Anthony verdict has Slavy Crockett asking a blunt question. Would the outcome have been the same if he was white and his victim was black? No, he would have been charged with a hate crime, and he would have probably got 100 years plus. Lighten up, Francis. Maybe it was because math is racist. She'd be a dumb attorney. She knows her numbers and her letters. Kermit knows what it's like being green. I would like to know the movies and music the parents allowed the murderer to be surrounded with. Maybe. Jacob caught up with the congresswoman and asked about the sentence of Charmello. One thing is abundantly clear. She doesn't think Carmelo got a fair shake, especially in front of a jury that didn't have a single black juror. Oh, is that what's necessary? Is that in the Constitution? Does it say you got to have a black juror to get a fair trial? Oh, and this scumbag right here. Race is a key factor. But this guy was the one saying it doesn't have nothing to do with race. Now it does. Huh.
Why do you feel that people feel so strongly about this trial, about this verdict on both sides?
I think because of the current climate of our country regarding race relations.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good answer. Regarding race relations, cities would be on fire if it was reversed, no matter the verdict. Yeah, definitely. I imagine white mothers with white sons live in fear that their sons might be attacked by a colorful person. There you go. Some of the Reconstructionists had this idea to send blacks back to Africa and paid them for their work, that treat them like migrant workers and freed them from their slavery and not to give them amnesty and a free path to citizenship. Yes. Oh, please, let's have some conversations about racing in this country. Let's talk about the percentage of crimes committed by blacks against whites. It's like, it's astronomical. It's astronomical. Hey, Muffin Rando, thanks for stopping by. It's great to see you here. Love you too. You don't know what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be rated behind blue eyes. And then because of people like Slavey Crockett and that scumbag that's saying everything's about race, we have stuff like this happening. A black guy punches a random white man in the face because he thinks he was on Carmelo Anthony's jury selection. He also threatens his life by saying, "You're going to die." How is this not a hate crime? Huh. And he records it and puts it on the internet.
Hey, wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Seriously. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was on jury selection.
No, he's a vet, dude. He's a vet. He's a vet. He ain't been on jury selection.
I ain't worried about that.
Fuck you.
You gonna die.
Quit, dude.
You on jury? Wasn't you on jury?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
You on jury selection?
He wasn't.
You was on jury selection? Oh. Not for Anthony, not for Carmelo Anthony. Oh. All right, my beat. I thought you was on jurisdiction for my beat. Man, what?
Yeah. Guy deserves to be in prison. He's utterly stupid if he thinks people in Florida have something to do with juries in Texas. Dindu Crew has positively identified him as career criminal Anson Antonio Holmes Jr. Oh, look at him. Felony probation. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, a black man in Florida filmed himself in an anti-white racially motivated attack down to 4 crackers and free Carmelo by punching a veteran in the head. He told the veteran he's going to die after mockingly accusing him of serving on the jury. Jacksonville, Florida, Miami Beach, Florida. Oh, what do you know? I believe this would qualify as an attack for a hate crime. Maybe. Could be. A shocking video out of Florida shows a black man riding up to a white man. Yeah. They're hunting the jurors now. Yeah, sounds like it, right? My bad, after assaulting someone because he assumed some shit. If they try to the narrow jury of your peers route, they can open a can of worms. Speaking of unrelated can of worms, you see Karen Reed's suit may cause all investigation involving Proctor to be reopened. I did see that. And that's very interesting, Gundam. Very interesting. Yeah, Florida man on a Texas jury. Hate crimes don't exist. Crime is a crime. Low IQ in public. Yeah. Yes. Send them back to prison. Yeah, she just wants to help people. Yeah. We wouldn't be caught in this racism trap where they have seen us as free handouts. We empowered them to walk all over us with attitudes they have today. Okay, back to the Jasmine Crockett free zone. That was painful. Revoke his parole. That's what I would do. I believe he's already been arrested. We hate them for a reason. This is him. Corey Holmes, Jacksonville, Florida. Black guy punches a random man in the face, white man in the face because he thinks he was on the jury. This is the guy. You might. What? Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. This is after a black man from Florida. What will Crockett be doing next year? She'll probably get hired at some weird law firm, some DEI law firm. I was on video attacking a white veteran. Facebook removed it from his page. Now, however, it's gone viral because his followers have taken screenshots and are sharing it widely across social media, laughing in the comments and treating a racially motivated violence as entertainment. This started with Obama. Yeah, it did. A lot of it started with Obama with that stupid shit about Trayvon would look like my son, and the stuff about the police department acted stupidly because some guy was breaking into a house and they asked him if he lived there and he didn't have any ID or anything. Yeah, I remember that. I blame this on white guilt, allowing all this crap and feeling bad about something that happened 160 years ago, done by none of us. Oh, Bonehead totally did this shit. There's no hope for these racists. They will always play the victim while being the aggressors. The worst part is they live among us. See this stuff? See this? It's crazy. I mean, look at this. The people saying this stuff. Look at this. He telling about you gonna die. I screen recorded it. I'm gonna call the law about died. Yeah, somebody showed me. It's crazy. Look at this. Funny. Oh, I'm glad I screen recorded it. Free Carmelo. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, could be. Could be. Coulds be. It's crazy, isn't it? Look at them. Look at all the stuff they're just putting on there. It's just nuts, man. It's just nuts. It is. It's just nuts. All right. Let's see here. Let me see. I have some more things to talk about. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to have to open a few more tabs. Okay. So, and you guys saw what was going on, right? Did I close? What happened? Oh, sorry. I closed the wrong tab. Sorry about that. I closed the wrong tab. I hate when that happened. It wasn't like this in the 80s and 90s. No, it wasn't. So this is what they're saying. You know, the minister of Northern Ireland's blaming Tommy Robinson, Elon Musk, for what happened because people saw the video of the guy being beheaded.
The influence that he wields?
Not to my knowledge. I haven't had a chance to speak to PSNI this morning. Last night it was very fresh, it was very new, but they did advise me that CID would be looking into these threats and taking them very seriously, which has been a comfort, I have to say, but at the minute we don't know where they've originated from. And, you know, Monday night was horrific, and so many people saw that image. I wish people didn't see that image, but unfortunately many people did. But it was absolutely horrific. But there are bad actors that are jumping on this and actually using it to stir up hate and tension. And people who don't even know who we are. We're not a racist people here. People who don't even know where we are on a map. But yet now we see the likes of the Elon Musks of this world, or we see the Tommy Robinsons of this world.
Oh, yeah, they
warriors who are sitting very comfy in their homes, orchestrating hate and tension and bringing this onto our streets and encouraging this onto our streets. So I think people need to be alert.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's behind it?
Protests that have been
organized. Oh, yeah.
If they're that smart about their protests, why can they not put their face to it? Because they can't. Because these protests have been organized by faceless thugs.
Oh, faceless thugs. Oh, yeah. Wow, you think so? Wow. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? So it's the faceless thugs like Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is the problem for the people getting killed, getting their heads chopped off. She doesn't wish it didn't happen. They're not angry enough. They're not afraid of you. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be racist if you're going to get your head chopped off. Yeah. You know. Here, Carmelo Anthony. This is the Carmelo Anthony supporter attorney, Thelma Anderson, says the twins are domestic racist terrorists. As a former prosecutor, this was illegal lynching. Wow. I believe this woman technically is not a lawyer. I think she was convicted of fraud and had her law license revoked.
I said as a former prosecutor, this was a legal
lynching that happened in this slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse. This is not a courthouse. This courthouse is designed when you would come here and you look like us, slaughter you. That's what they were. Those twins are domestic racist terrorists. I said as a former prosecutor.
Domestic racist terrorists. Yeah. She's actually not a Dallas attorney. She pleaded guilty to one count of wire fraud related to fraudulent paycheck protection loan application in 2021. Not eligible to practice law in Texas. Miss Thelma Anderson. Oh, she's a convicted felon. She's not a lawyer. Oh, go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, what's this? A 16-year-old girl is shot in the head inside her own home, and they can't find enough to charge anyone. Not even the guy who was in her bedroom that walked out with the gun. This is the girl. All right. Says, this is someone who came into my home, was let in, was in my daughter's bedroom while my other daughter was watching a movie in the other room and heard a loud bang. And he came out and had a gun, and my daughter protected herself with a pillow. And he asked for a hug, and she told him to get out. I'm not sure what that was about. He called his mother on the phone to come pick him up, and he left. Said, what? Cook County prosecutors say they don't have enough evidence to file charges in the shooting death of Lily Bova. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? The slaughterhouse was at the track meet. Saw some live streams tonight. A bunch of kids chucking bottles at Garda vehicles. They did try 2 Molotovs, but they played a soccer game because they could not throw for shit. Okay. That's terrible. Yeah, can you believe this? Can you believe this? This case? I mean, this is just nuts. Lily Bova case, the Cook County prosecutors declined charges in fatal shooting. A guy's in a bedroom with a girl. A gunshot is heard. They see the guy leave with the gun, and they say they can't press charges.
For tornadoes as we go throughout the evening tomorrow. Then that line quickly moves.
No. So prosecutors announced they do not have sufficient evidence to file criminal charges in the shooting death of a 16-year-old named Lily Bova. Yeah, wait, what? It's crazy, right? Always show that a split screen of them talking with the guy cutting the head off that dude. Yeah, this is crazy. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office said it cannot meet its burden of proof based on the evidence gathered by investigators. What? Decision comes weeks after Lily's mother publicly criticized the lack of charges and said she believes authorities had identified the person responsible. Prosecutors announced Wednesday that they do not have enough evidence to bring criminal charges in the shooting death of a 16-year-old. What they're saying in a statement, the state's attorney's office said Bova's death was a profound tragedy and acknowledged the impact her loss had with her family. Thug will do it again. Yeah. Prosecutors say after reviewing the evidence collected by law enforcement, they determined they cannot meet the legal burden required. Based on the evidence obtained by law enforcement during their investigation, we cannot meet our burden of proof. And at this time, we cannot bring criminal charges. They have an eyewitness of the guy walking out with the fucking gun in his hand after the gunshot went off and she's dead. I mean, what? What? The state's attorney's office described the investigation as a challenging case and said many questions remain about how the shooting unfolded. Throughout the review process, our victim witness staff remained in contact with the victim's family, and today prosecutors from our felony review unit personally informed the family of this decision. As prosecutors, we have a responsibility to file charges only when the evidence supports doing so. What? The Cook County State's Attorney's Office remains committed to pursuing justice and seeking accountability in all instances where our review of admissible evidence determines that we can successfully prosecute a case. Yeah, murders have been charged and prosecuted with less. Yeah. Like, she saw him walk out of the room with the gun after hearing the bang. Bova was shot at 11 a.m. on March 28th in an apartment that she shared with her mother, sister, and brother in Glenview. Okay, BP under 200 again. Oh, it's going to go back up, Joe. The Glenbrook South High School sophomore was found wounded in her bedroom and later died at Lutheran General Hospital. In May, Lily's mother publicly expressed frustration that no charges had been filed.
The mother of a Glenview teenager murdered in her home in late March is speaking out tonight, frustrated that the Cook County State's Attorney's Office has not brought charges against the person that she believes killed her daughter.
Why are you not behind bars? Where is the line of justice? What do we need?
Christine Maga is the mother of 16-year-old Lily Bova.
Oh,
who was
wait.
shot.
They just said the reason. This is the reason. Her last name is Maga. Did you hear that? I'm going to back it up. Her name is Christine Maga. So in Chicago, in Cook County, if you're anything to do with MAGA, you're not going to get justice. Is that really what we're fucking come to? The mother's name is MAGA. So she can't. What? Instead of Jim tells you, it should be Jim raises blood pressure. Yeah, her last name, MAGA. So she can't get justice in Cook County. Can you believe it? Can you fucking believe it?
Where is the line of justice? What do we need?
Christine Maga is the mother of 16-year-old Lily Bova, who was shot and killed on March 30th in the Glenview apartment she shared with her mother, sister, and brother. Bova was found shot in her bedroom and later died at Lutheran General Hospital. Her mother tells Fox Chicago that Cook County sheriffs have told her they have sufficient evidence to file charges against the suspect, but she says the state's attorney's office is asking for more time. She believes the circumstances surrounding her daughter's murder are more than enough to bring charges.
This is someone that came into my home, was let in, and was in my daughter's bedroom while my other daughter was watching a movie in the other room, and heard a loud bang. And he came out and he had the gun, and my daughter protected herself with a pillow, and he asked for a hug. I'm not sure what that was about. She told him just to get out. He called his mother on the phone to come pick him up, and he left.
Now, we reached out to the Office of State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke this afternoon. So far, we've not received a response. Christine Maga says she believes the person that she believes killed her daughter is still living in the community, and she says she's fearful for the safety of her other two children.
Yeah, I would be too. I would be too. Thank you for the raid. Where's it at here? Mild has raided the stream. Thank you, Mild, for raiding the stream. Yes, MAGA is her name. MAGA is her name. That is crazy. Dumb single mother. Yeah. You typed it in the wrong chat? Okay. I was like, what's going on? Raid, everybody, thank you for being here. Yeah, so as you can see, if your last name is MAGA in the Chicagoland area, you can get murdered and nothing's going to happen. Nothing at all. Like, they're going to refuse to do anything. MAGA said she's been told by officials with the Cook County Sheriff's Office that investigators gathered sufficient evidence to support the charges, but prosecutors were seeking additional time to review the case. 2 witnesses, yes. What did the mother, that's the thing, there's 2 witnesses. What did the mother do that got called to come pick him up? Did she get rid of the gun? Who is the mother? I sense, and this is just my sense, is that this kid and the mother are connected politically, connected to the Democrat Party. That's what I sense. That's what I sense. They have to have the phone records. Yeah, they have to know who the kid was. They know who the kid is. So nothing has happened because of her last name. Have we lost our shit? The fuck is going on? Well, Bova was murdered, not MAGA. No, MAGA is the mother's last name, though, and the mother can't get justice. See? You see, Kofi? It's all connected. Look, I'm not saying that's why. I'm joking when I'm saying that because the last name is MAGA. I'm saying that it's political, that the kid who did the shooting has connections to somebody. And the state's attorney's office is fucking around. I did say MAGA gets murdered. Well, she's the daughter of MAGA. No, the other sister called the mother to come get him. Is that what it said? I thought it said he called his mother. They obviously know who it was. I mean, something's weird here. At the time, MAGA argued the circumstances around her daughter's death warranted criminal charges. This is someone who came into my home, was let in, was in my daughter's bedroom while my other daughter was watching a movie, and heard a loud bang. MAGA said in an interview, when he came out, he had a gun, and my daughter protected herself with the pillow. He asked for a hug, and she told him to get out. I'm not sure what that was about. He called his mother on the phone to come pick him up, and he left. MAGA also said she fears for the safety of her other children because the person is still living in the community. He called his mother. Why don't they just say the kid's name? Yes. The daughter that was murdered was named Bova. The mother's last name is MAGA. Yes, the mother's last name is MAGA. I'm saying, so the daughter of MAGA can't get justice. There's no justice for MAGA in Cook County. Am I confusing someone? Is someone confused? I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is freaking insane. This is insane. Hold on a second. Well, I got to do something here. How do I do? There we go. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this. That's just crazy to me. This is just crazy to me. It's an interesting coincidence. Yes. Oh, I forgot. I had this. This is I wanted to play this. I was supposed to play this. Hey, Danisha, how you doing? Great to see you. New Yorkers, please don't look at the score. Finally, you got it straight. No, Mr. MAGA. Maybe, I don't know. Even if they arrest him, another person's getting off with mental illness. Yeah, probably. You agree the killer must be connected, otherwise it makes no sense? That's what I'm saying. He hugged the other sister. Yeah, he tried to hug the other sister. It's crazy. He said, give me a hug. And she protected herself with a pillow. Is she scared to mention the name? I don't know. The girl must have rejected him. She was beautiful, so sad. It's crazy, isn't it? But this is a response. Zeke Armon had a response to Boquisha's rant about injustice of the Carmelo Anthony verdict. I was supposed to play this and I screwed up. My bad.
Carmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing. I don't know what this tool was that they talk about, knife, or some refer to it as a tool. He ended up hitting Austin one time, and it was about where he hit him. One time, 2 inches. This wasn't someone who said, hey, let me stab you 5, 6, 7 times. And so when you're looking at the punishment range, there's a reason.
I am fully convinced that Boquisha was the worst public defender ever. Like, you know how you see those public defenders? They got like the suit that's like 2 sizes too big for them. And they got like a whole binder full of papers, and they're like, "What's your name again? Okay, what's your charge? Okay, yeah, that was her. That was her, just with the wig and the eyelashes and the overdone makeup. But that was her. And if she was your public defender, you were cooked. You might as well just defend yourself. It's probably the same type of public defender that defended Carmelo Anthony. And that's why he got the time he did, because that public defender probably had no idea what they were doing. And shame on his parents, because they had like a whole GoFundMe and everything. And instead of spending that on an attorney for their son who was arrested for murder, they went and they spent it on a house and cars and everything else like that. So yeah, Boquisha, you have no idea what you're talking about. Can you imagine your attorney going in front of court and saying, well, you know, he only stabbed him once, you know, so I don't think he should get, I mean, he's dead, but you only stabbed him once. I mean, it was just one time. It wasn't like 5 or 6 times. It was just once. Can you imagine your attorney saying that? She is a lawyer. She is an attorney. I don't know if she passed the bar, but she's an attorney. She graduated from a law school. And this is what she's saying. This is the worst thing I think I've ever heard in my life. No, Carmelo Anthony is not a victim in this. The victim is Austin Metcalf. The victims are Metcalf's family. That's who the victims are, not the guy who went into a tent, picked a fight, and wound up stabbing someone. Like, seriously, like the fact that we have to explain this to you is shameful. Every law firm in Texas, do not hire this woman, because Boquisha is horrible. As an attorney, she is horrible. Zeke Arkham, got you 6. Bye.
Yeah. I congratulate the public defender for getting that devil only 35 years. People got it messed up. He could have gotten 99 years. Yeah. Carmelo was represented by Mike Howard, a private defense attorney, wasn't a public defender. Yes, this is MAGA country. That's what the guy said when he killed that girl in Chicago. This is crazy. This is just crazy. Listen, everybody, I know it seems like we just started that second hour, the first additional hour of the show, but it's almost over. We got like maybe another 25, 30 minutes of show left. If we don't hit the goal, we got $80 to get, and we can get another hour. It's up to you guys. Totally up to you if you want another hour. Just saying. Got about 30 minutes left of show, roughly, approximately. I know it says there's 10 minutes left on the goal, but the way it works is no matter what, as long as I'm still going, if the money comes in, I extend the show. Let's see here. Black women, especially. This is the thing. They live in fear and agony every day. Fear and agony that Metcalfs will never spend that way. See, there she is talking about it. These people. We have lost our minds. A jury convicted Carmelo Anthony of murder for stabbing 17-year-old Metcalf to death. Austin Metcalf to death. Evidence was presented. Witnesses testified. Self-defense was rejected. He got 35 years. That's not illegal lynching. That's justice. Crying racism because the killer is black and the victim was white doesn't change the facts. Actions have consequences. Austin is dead. His family grieves. The system worked. This is Reverend Jordan Wells. Let's see who he is. He's an influencer, pastor, Zionist, featured on A Real America's Voice. Huh. Okay. Black supremacy is on the rise in America. How do we coexist with people who think like this?
More so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse, as well as the energy right now is to be the pigs.
Named Thelma Anderson making these comments. Black supremacy is right now on the rise, and it is the #1 issue that we need to tackle here in this country as far as domestically. This is crazy what she just said. She essentially said that if a black person kills a white person, or an Asian person, or a Hispanic person, fill in that blank, that the black person has some type of moral justification, high ground of doing it, and therefore should not be held accountable. And if they are held accountable, like Carmelo Anthony was, it's white supremacy. You can't make this shit up. This is straight from her mouth. How can you coexist with people like this? who essentially have zero regard for your life because of your skin color. You go and you get attacked by a black person and you fight back, or God forbid, they kill you, and that black person somehow has some right to have done that. And if they're held accountable, it's your fault that you died? This is ridiculous. There's thousands of videos like this. She isn't alone in this. This is insane. How can you coexist with people like this? Insane.
Yep, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Really is. Let's see here. But we do have this that I wanted to show you. So a school board member at the North Kingstown School Department in Rhode Island shared a letter to Austin Metcalf's dad, blaming him for his son's murder because he failed to teach him that black boys have boundaries. This cat lady said this, you can't look at me in the eye right now because you can stab my son in the heart. And dear Jeff Metcalf, your son is dead because you failed to teach him that black boys have boundaries. Oh. Really? Seems kind of insane to me. Anyway, jump to the next story here. Bill Gates says that Epstein tried to use his marital affairs to gain leverage over him. So kind of sounds like it's black tribalism. There shouldn't be any tribalism anywhere. Race didn't have anything to do with this case. It didn't. I mean, there was no accusations that he was told to leave because he was black. I mean, I don't know. Did he? I don't think it was ever. Did he ever say or anyone say anything about him stabbing him because he was white? I don't know that exists. I think it was just, it didn't matter who it was. If it was a black kid that would have went up to Anthony and told him to leave the tent, he probably would have stabbed him. Same thing would have happened, I think, no matter who it was. But anyway, so Bill Gates says that Epstein was trying to use leverage over him. So like blackmail, but I thought they said there was no evidence that Epstein used blackmail on anyone. Howard Lutnick was questioned about it too in the media.
Welcome back. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Capitol Hill today for a closed-door interview with the House Oversight Committee as part of their ongoing Jeffrey Epstein probe. Fox News Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram has the details. Chad.
Well, good afternoon. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has given contradictory statements about his ties to Epstein. He kept in touch with Epstein after claiming he broke off contact. Lutnick ducked questions in the hall, but faced questions from lawmakers.
Why did you continue to communicate with him after his conviction? Mr. Secretary, can you clarify what happened when you went on the Goldston family to Gaza? Why did you do that? Did you know about his
Lutnick and Epstein were neighbors for years. Lutnick told lawmakers they only met 3 times. And when he saw a massage table at Epstein's home, Lutnick decided to end any relationship with him. But Lutnick and his family traveled to Epstein's island years later.
We haven't talked to too many people that have admitted they've been on the island. So it's my understanding he wasn't on the island very long when he was there with his wife and kids.
This is pretty extraordinary to bring in a cabinet secretary for something like this. Can you characterize that?
And look, I've been on the Oversight Committee 10 years, and there's never been a chairman bring in cabinet secretaries of their own party.
The committee is not taping the interview. That's because Lutnick is appearing voluntarily. He is not under subpoena. California Democrat Ro Khanna says if the president saw the interview on tape, he would fire Lutnick. Democrats say Lutnick is changing his story.
it came to light that in fact that relationship went much longer and much deeper than that, then of course it raises very serious questions. There's no need to hide a relationship with somebody if you have nothing to hide and if there's not more there.
Oh.
Now, Ansari called Lutnick, quote, a pathological liar. President Trump has stood behind Lutnick. The next major witnesses for the committee, former Attorney General Pam Bondi later this month, and in June, Bill Gates. Will?
Bill Gates. Wow.
All right, thank you.
So Bill Gates is right here. We're going to talk about Bill Gates, but we have this first. Joe, for $2, says, join me, people. If everyone chips in $2, Jim will have to go for another hour, and he won't get an early bedtime. Thank you, Joe. Look at me, though. Beauty sleep could, whatever. So we're 78 away now, folks. $78 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. That's right, just 78 away. We can make it there. Most of Austin's teammates were black. A black teammate went in to chase down Carmelo. Yes, it was. It's crazy. So Microsoft founder told investigators that Epstein sought to exploit his marriage infidelity to gain access to him. Gates made the remarks during an interview with the House Oversight Committee as part of the bipartisan panel investigation into Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. The tech billionaire acknowledged affairs during his former marriage to Melinda French Gates and said Epstein tried to use that information to re-engage with him after he attempted to cut off ties. He was unsuccessful in this effort, but it shows some of the ways he tried to leverage his interactions with me to further his agenda. His agenda. Agenda. I should have never met with him in the first place. Gates also said he never witnessed Epstein commit criminal behavior and was never interested in pursuing a relationship with him despite the sex offender's efforts to do so. They drug this out so long, I don't care anymore. Epstein and Maxwell are somewhere living it up. Hi, Bella and Frisky. Well, sweet daydream. So great to have you here tonight. It's awesome to be here with you. House Oversight Committee Chairman Gomer invited Gates to testify over his years-long relationship with Epstein, including other information. And they say it's occurred after Epstein's 2008 prison term for soliciting a minor for prostitution. It never took place behind closed doors, though a transcript is expected to be made public at a later date. Lawmakers of both parties said Gates was completely cooperative in responding to their questions. I think any witness on occasion is going to be a little combative. He is pushing back on certain things, said Robert Garcia. I think you'll see in the transcript he's answering the questions. Gates appeared multiple times over millions of documents released by the Gates appeared multiple times in the documents that were released. All right. He and Epstein were shown corresponding and socializing between 2011 and 2014, including at Epstein's New York townhouse. Epstein allegedly killed himself in 2019 after being indicted on federal sex trafficking charges. I mean, the fact that they're just saying that as a fact bothers me. Gates confirmed that he first met Epstein in 2011 after the financier claimed he could raise billions of dollars for global health. According to his opening statement, he told congressional investigators that he was not aware of the specifics of his 2008 conviction and accepted the introduction without applying the scrutiny I should have. Hey, Sylvie, thanks for being here. He also characterized their contact as limited and said it fizzled out by December 2014 after Epstein did not deliver on the promised philanthropic efforts. Okay, according to the files, Epstein discovered Gates's affairs with two Russian women during his marriage to French Gates. The tech billionaire has said he did not spend time with Epstein victims. In one email written by Epstein, he claimed Gates planned to surreptitiously give his then-wife medication to treat an infection he caught from other women. Gates has not been accused of any wrongdoing and said he fully supports the release of the Epstein files. I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit. He says, I know nothing. I hear nothing. I see nothing. I know nothing. They're gonna call him Sergeant Schultz Gates. It was a huge mistake to spend time with Epstein. A spokesperson for Gates previously told Fox that he welcomed the opportunity to testify. While he never witnessed or participated in any of Epstein's conduct, illegal conduct, he is looking forward to answering all the committee's questions to support their important work. The Microsoft founder is the latest influential figure to testify before the oversight panel in connection to Epstein's probe. Billionaire businessman Les Wexner, former President Bill Clinton and his wife, Secretary Hillary Clinton, and former Attorney General Pam Bondi and Howard Lutnick have also participated in interviews with the committee. That's right. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Error 404 in his hard drive for grape files. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Narcissists don't commit suicide. I'm sure that the guy who designed Windows, he didn't design it, he stole it. He bought it off a guy for 10 grand, like the first Windows operating system or DOS. But he's got to know how computers work and how Windows systems work, like file systems. So if anybody could figure out a way to get rid of files so that no one could find them, it would probably be Bill Gates, right? I mean, just makes sense, doesn't it? Like he would be able to get rid of computer files. The Epstein crap can be solved in one press conference. The victims show and say the names. DOJ gives them immunity for NDA issues. In the meantime, I don't want to hear it, just like the Dems did for years. That's right. Bella is snoring loud. I hear it. Carolyn Rumler, former White House counsel to Barack Obama, and Leon Black, co-founder of Apollo Global, are expected to sit for interviews in the coming weeks. He bought DOS from IBM. No, he bought DOS for IBM, for IBM to use. He bought it off of a guy that worked for Xerox, I think. Or from Xerox, maybe, or something like that. Xerox was involved. It was IBM that was looking for the operating system. And he bought it off a small firm. And then once the guy figured out what it was being used for, it was like, wait, what? And that guy got screwed. Oh, look, there's Gates with Prince Andrew. Yeah, Xerox. Yeah, Xerox. In one draft email by Epstein, he claimed, we saw that, I did nothing. What is going on here? There's there's Gates and Prince Andrew. It's strange, right? He bought it from a Seattle computer company, Computer Works. Yeah. For Xerox or IBM, one of the companies needed an operating system. I think it was IBM. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the system that the guy had was originally for Xerox. I don't know. Xerox was involved somehow. Lock the fuck up. He's killing us. Yeah, the most disturbing thing about the whole Epstein files is that it's only used as a political weapon, not about justice. Yes, Gates. I know, Gates. Lock up Gates. Yes. Like Epstein, Lord Ali of the UK was also mentored by Rob Maxwell. He then went on to finance Keir Starmer's election. That's right. This has been slow road for so long, it gives them time for their lawyers to develop a script and practice it. Yeah. Jill, Bill, and Hillary were close. Jim, Bill, and Hillary were close. How did she learn about BleachBit? Joke, or is it? Xerox was the mouse. Xerox was Apple's coup. Maybe. IBM and he changed the main drive from A to C and made billions off of it. Yeah, for IBM, Apple turned Xerox PARC, paid for it. Jobs cussed Xerox management out for sitting on the GUI and then went on to develop Lisa for Macintosh. Well. Lawmakers have pointed to Gates' association with Epstein after his conviction as a key focus. We've said we don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, who you are. The fact that Gates still has a relationship with Epstein, even after knowing about his conviction, knowing actually what he'd done, I think is very concerning. Didn't other people too? So we want to know, did Gates know who else around that orbit and why Gates continued the relationship? I think these are important questions. CPM, Microsoft ripped it off to make and creator of CPM ended himself. I'm behind, but wish our government officials spent this much time and energy on things that actually matter, like cutting regulations, lowering taxes, and investigating the clear fraud in our elections. Here. Then Jobs hired most of PARC away from Xerox, and they were happy to go because Xerox management was too stupid to market and sell what they had built. DOS, not does. Brain fart. Yes. Why did Melinda divorce Bill? She said it had to do with Epstein. Yeah. Epstein. 90. Epstein 90. CBS News, which honestly, I'm going to tell you guys, if you haven't noticed, CBS News is vastly better now than it was before. Like, honestly, this whatever Barry Weiss is doing at CBS, Palo Alto Research Center, but Gates paid Professor Neil Ferguson to produce the death projections for the election sniffles. Neil then broke lockdown to party and was forced to resign.
From one of the richest men in the world, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. His name popped up hundreds of times in those recently unsealed documents in the so-called Epstein files, leading investigators in Congress to bring him in today to ask about his ties to the late convicted sex offender. Gates telling lawmakers he never saw Epstein engage in criminal conduct. More now from CBS's Nicole Killian.
Today, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates faced nearly 6 hours of questioning about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee to find justice for the victims.
Gates, whose name and photos appear hundreds of times in the Epstein files, said he never victimized anyone. But he claimed after he cut ties with the convicted sex offender, Epstein discovered Gates had extramarital affairs and, quote, was working to use information about my infidelities to pressure me to re-engage with him.
It does appear that his extramarital affairs were not associated with Jeffrey Epstein, but he also is claiming in there that Epstein was aware of them and therefore may have exploited them as a form of blackmail against Mr. Gates.
Gates's association with Epstein was a factor in his divorce from his wife, Melinda French Gates, in 2021. Epstein's former executive assistant, Leslie Groff, testified Tuesday that she scheduled Epstein's massages but was unaware of his crimes.
That's hard to believe that she never suspected anything, but that's what she testified.
Gates's interview comes as the New York Times reports that the White House was freaked out about the release of the Epstein files and sought ways to contain any potential fallout. A White House spokesperson says the president has been, quote, totally exonerated. Matt.
Okay, Nicole, thank you.
Gates' wife.
This is Donna.
That's Donna. So what does it say here? Gates' wife snitched him out. I have MS-DOS, Windows 3 all the way to 11. Yes, NT-base too. Gates and ticks anyone? I've heard that stuff. I have. But Epstein, sure. So worth the $165,000 and $75,000 a year. Yeah. So we did. Let's see. There's a couple things I want to get to before we get to too late. I don't think we're going to hit the goal, but this is being reported here. So they're saying the knife that Carmelo Anthony used to kill Austin Metcalf was a $13 Walmart blade with a flashlight. That's what they're saying. Iran is being hammered. Yes, we're going to get to that. Funny, when Bill was interviewed on news about Epstein, said he's dead with a smirk. You always have to be careful about these things. I needed all that when I was going to school and getting certified. Oh, but you're talking about the MS-DOS stuff. Yeah. That was the knife used. It had a little flashlight on it. Did it kill Austin? Why, yes, it did. Wouldn't give a rat's ass. It was a freaking $200 knife. Brother said he's tried to stop the bleeding before he saw his soul leave. Wow. This is brutal. The mom's crying and everything. And so here it is. IRGC Command and Control Center has just been decimated by U.S. strikes. Now, this says it was just posted at 9:50, so 10 minutes ago. That's the only reason I played it. Welfare check on Jackson Hinkle. Yeah. And the regime. Finish the job. Sounds good to me. Here's, if you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed. So, Chicago police say the man who was seen leaving the area where an object was constructed and lit on fire in Grant Park yesterday. Police characterized the crime as arson, not a hate crime, even though many people have concluded it was a cross burning. Yeah. An art student making an important statement with his summer installation. So here's the guy. All right. We'll get into it in a second. This is the guy seen running away. So this is the guy that they're saying did a cross burning in Grant Park. Does he look something about him? I can't place my finger on it. But I guess this is just another white guy that committed a hate crime. Any Iran updates? I just showed one. Yeah. Grant Park arson suspect identified by Chicago police. Oh, look at they released 2 photos of the man who was seen running from the area where an object was constructed and set on fire in Grant Park. CBD categorized the crime as arson in its community alert. An object was constructed and lit on fire. They're asking anyone with information can help them identify the man to contact arson investigators or submit an anonymous tip. And you know, somebody happened to have been right there to record it and say it was a cross burning, a bit ashy, and say, look at this. Carmelo Anthony was murdered. Carmelo Anthony was just lynched in Texas, and now they lighting crosses on fire in Chicago. Skinny pants, very Asiatic looking. And I thought I had it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. I know I had it. The people saying that the cross burning. I got to scroll through so many things to get to it. Oh, man, where is it? Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Libs of Chicago. I knew I had it. I knew I had it. Right here. See, Southern Poverty Law Center's back at it. This cross was burned in Grant Park on Tuesday afternoon on a nice day in Chicago. SPLC at it again. That's right. Homeboy looks Japanese. Could be. It's not a good time to be in the IRGC office right now. Are you trying to tell me that nobody saw him carrying a 7-foot cross on Columbus Drive, setting it up against a tree and setting it on fire? You're kidding me, right?
You're kidding me. What? In 2026, we are burning crosses.
Yeah, we're burning crosses. Yeah, why are you burning crosses in 2026? Why are you doing this?
Whoa. That's crazy. That's insane.
That's insane that somebody did that. Wow, it's insane. All for the public to see. It was art. Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah, SPLC, some person lighting cross. Maybe half Asian. Could be. Maybe it was Tim Pool. Tim Pool's half Asian, right? It was one of the Pools. He's been called a racist a lot.
Oh, my God. And it's controlled. It's like a controlled
This is
burn.
a very controlled burn.
I wonder if that dude said it because he was walking awful close to it.
He was.
And he
on out that way.
Whoa.
Wow. He's walking awful close. Or maybe it was all that just happened to be Southern Poverty Law Center. They think they found who did it right there. They've identified the suspect. Yeah. I told y'all to shower wash off after a good cross burning. That's what's happening here. What would be the purpose? The city already majority blue. This won't swing votes. It just looks like a jackass. There's no visible gain for a right-wing racist extremist to do this. I don't think you're understanding. It's not racists that do this. It's left-wing extremists doing it, telling you that it's racist right-wing extremists. Yeah. I'm saying it doesn't really benefit either side. It's stupid, especially in a state, more specifically a city that isn't turning red anytime soon. And already has tons of people, mainly black, already doped up on racism. The goal might be to piss people off. They're already voting blue no matter what. The city's solidified blue. It's less to do with red, blue, more to do with stoking racial division. Politics come much later. They'll play this into the idiotic narrative that racists are everywhere and nothing has changed. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jesse, and I burn crosses.
That's what it is. They have a building right across the street. Yeah, there's buildings right across the street. I would buy it being a student from the Art Institute. Yeah. PSYOP, totally. It's lighting across. Yeah. It was an object. Yeah. Archie and Gopher. Yeah. If someone burns a Quran, you get the fatwa. Yes. You get the fatwa. The fatwa. The fatwa. Let's see. I'm trying to see just anything else here. Oh, this is what's going on in Ireland. There's riots in Ireland. We'll talk about this real quick. We'll pull a couple of these up. That's Ireland. With a couple more Irish stuff. Oh, look, they started another petition. The Kamala supporters started another petition. They want Hunter Metcalf arrested for assault. This would make Robert Barnes very happy. He said the two brothers ganged up on him. This is a good one, too. This Democrat rep, Summer Lee, says black Americans will stop voting if they think they're never going to be paid reparations for slavery. We're fighting for reparations because it's owed to us. Wow.
As they are playing psychological warfare with us. They are hell-bent on beating us down to our face and then telling us that, we're the ones who are crazy. And we got to fight back against this. So you know what? I have just not engaged in that topic of them trying to give insurrectionists some dollars, because we got to control the things that we can control. And they want black folks to feel like they're poking, like they're knocking the wind out of us, right? That's what they need us to feel that way. Because if we feel empowered, if we feel like we have even a tiny bit of momentum, then they know that we have enough power to do damage.
Wow.
Positive damage, good trouble damage.
Good trouble. That's it.
Good trouble. Yeah, it's absurd. And that's what they do, because again, they're trying to disenfranchise you. Because if you believe that you're never going to get reparations from this system, then you tap out. And you don't just tap out of the conversation, you tap out of the system. You don't want to vote anymore. You don't participate anymore. And they know that that's how they don't just control Congress. That's how they can get your school boards, your board of supervisors. They want us that far out of the system. So right now, we fight for reparations because it's owed us. It is owed us. So we're not going to back down on that one way or another. I'm not shocked that my colleagues are not on it, that Democratic colleagues aren't on it. Again, there is a level of comfort in this building that sustains people. And I know that the people who don't want reparations back a lot of my colleagues, Democrat and otherwise. So no, I'm not shocked, but it is why we have to keep people on the outside encouraged. So we have to, it's not that we have to cancel out the news when they're doing shit like that. We can't cancel out the news. Like, we got to live in reality, but we have to counterbalance that with our plan, our organizing plan, with how we're going to build this coalition, who we're working with to move the needle on this. And I think that our time is really well spent there.
I think it's very well spent there. Yes. No reparations equal no blacks voting. Downside, I'm like that scene from like either Hangover, where the guy's doing this and it's all the stuff going like this. He's trying to figure it out, or A Beautiful Mind trying to figure it out. It's really, really owed. Yeah. I ceased to be 6 and 10 numbers of years. Yeah. Something.
As they are playing psychological.
Here we go. Nations have an absolute right to reject invaders and asylum seekers who import knives, chaos, and carnage. This is what's Ireland is just, it's going on in Ireland.
And there are riots erupting across several areas in Northern Ireland right now. So this comes after video of a horrific stabbing that was allegedly committed by an asylum seeker from Sudan. That video went viral. Greg Palcott is in London with more. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Jenna. Yeah, there was mayhem on the streets of Belfast, Northern Ireland last night with a very anti-immigrant bent. Masked and hooded men burning families out of their homes, setting on fire stores and other businesses, torching numerous vehicles, including buses, and attacking police. All sparked by the brutal stabbing by a 30-year-old Sudanese man, Ali Al-Odeid, of a 44-year-old resident of Northern Ireland. The victim badly injured in the face and neck. The assailant charged with attempted murder. Bystanders getting involved. The video widely seen. While the attack is currently not being treated as terrorism, what has spurred the violence is the suspect made his way to Northern Ireland from Ireland, a member of the European Union, and was on a 5-year visa seeking asylum. Again, in many cases last night, immigrants, including entire families, were specifically targeted. Here's what a top Northern Ireland official had to say.
Nothing can justify the violence that we saw on the streets of Northern Ireland last night, with masked thugs trying to burn and intimidate people out of their homes.
The disorder in Northern Ireland is the latest to flare up in the UK in response to a crime often believed to have been caused by an immigrant. In fact, there was unrest last night across the UK, even here in London. Critics complain the anger is due to lax policies here and in other European countries regarding immigration, amid calls for a tightening up of who gets into the country. Even Elon Musk posting a call for protest and a change in policies. As the cleanup of the scarred neighborhoods went on today, there was a new call from officials for locals not to take to the streets again tonight.
Yeah, don't take to the streets again.
Doubling up of police deployments to try to maintain calm amid more calls for protests, maybe more trouble.
Wow, more trouble. Wow, more trouble. Let's see. Migrant Makander Makekar faces 30 years in federal prison after bilking a bank out of $100 million in a brazen fraud scheme. Wow.
Exposed billions of dollars in benefits that have been stolen from the American people. We referred over $22 billion in fraudulent small business loans back to the Treasury for collection. We deferred more than $1.3 billion in fraudulent Medicaid reimbursements that were coming from various states, particularly California. We put a 6-month hold on enrollments for new hospice and home health care providers because so many of the newer hospice providers were not actually providing hospice services, but were just focused on fraud. So we're going to cut that out for a little bit and try to get to a place where we can actually certify that the people providing hospice services are actually providing those very necessary and important services. We recovered taxpayer funds from the $135 billion stolen after the floodgates were open in the immediate aftermath of COVID. We have found $6.3 billion in suspected fraudulent government contracts, which were mostly awarded during the last administration, and that has stopped. And finally, we blocked $60 million in student aid fraud that should have gone to young people trying to get an education, but instead we're going to fraudsters. And I think the theme here of the anti-fraud task force up to this point has really been that we're protecting two classes of victims here. We're protecting the American taxpayers who shouldn't have their money stolen by fraudsters. And of course, we're protecting the people who need these services. Fraud is not a victimless crime. This is not somebody gets to make some money for violating the law, and otherwise it's not a big deal. This is people who rely on critical services, students who rely on student loan services, sick people who rely on hospice care, a number of small businesses who rely on the availability of these loans so that they can grow their business and hire people. All of these people, all of our fellow Americans have been taken advantage by fraudsters, and the task force is here to stop it.
That's right. Get on it, JD. Get on it. Get down on it. We got the Trump administration insiders are warning the UK that it's hit a tripwire moment as Belfast explodes over migrant horror attack in the new troubles. It's the new troubles. It is. There are 1,696 active players on rosters of the NFL. Out of this group, 54 to 58% are black. That's about 980 athletes. An estimated 600 to 700 are black and millionaires. Equals American racism. It does. It's terrible. Terrible American racism. Got to get better at it. If the government doesn't want to do it, we will do it ourselves, and it'll be a hell of a lot less humane. That's right. I have to do it at a certain point beyond rules. That's right. When the government won't act, vigilante justice happens. It's inevitable. You don't get to let the invaders abuse your citizens, or they'll handle it themselves, says the guy with a pitchfork and a torch. That's right. That's right. But this is what they're doing. All right. This is what they're doing over there. All right. This is what they're doing. They're using water hoses and cannons on the people, the actual Irish people. This is nuts. This is not the only one. Tommy Robinson is reporting right here. Water cannons turned on protesters. A shame they couldn't have kept the invaders out with it, who are trying to behead the Brits. I don't know. Is this the same video? It seems like a different video. They're throwing rocks at them. Oh, yeah, baby. Water. Yes. That's exactly what they want until they get it. Yeah. This is why they want you unarmed. Yes, this is why they want you unarmed. Ireland's even crazier than the rest of the UK. Yeah, Ireland is not a place to be trifled with, my friends. Once upon a time, the media was outraged when hoses were turned on people protesting for one-tier policing. Yeah, remember this? Yeah. An explosion has hit an asylum seeker hotel in Belfast. What do you know? Wow. And it's just even more and more stuff here. Police in Belfast have come out in force as armored Land Rovers and water cannons are used in the hope they can stew the anger of the local people. This is happening now in Ireland. They won't let you deport the evil. I'll stand with the UK if they go that route also. There you go. So be it then, KB. Let the Irish madmen loose. And the UK mad lads. Yes, let them all go. You think something is happening in the UK? I do. I think something's happening. I think they've had enough. I think they've had it. They got their leaders are basically selling them out. I think they've said enough's enough. Enough is enough is enough. Oh, it looks like wow. Anyway, it's crazy. They need to vote for restore. They reap what they sow. That's what I'm saying. It seems like it, right? It's amazing how the government rolls out to oppress their native born, but they won't stop this shit from happening. Migraine, hypertension, stress, Muslim integration. Yeah, this is what can happen, you see? Yeah. What it looks like. Starmer says he's furious about people rising up in Belfast. Yeah, he's furious about it. Starmer is furious about it.
Starmer says he's furious about riots in Belfast. He said it is shocking, and citizens will see the full force of the law. But during the George Floyd riots, he took a knee and wouldn't condemn the violence. Now his own immigration policies are fueling unrest. The double standard is obvious. People have had enough.
And anger at the death of George Floyd. This has shone a light on racism and hatred experienced by many in the US and beyond. I'm surprised the Prime Minister hasn't said anything about this yet, but I do hope that next time he speaks to President Trump, he will convey to him the UK's abhorrence about his response to the events.
Oh. I hope the U.S. sends a strong word, sends a message like Rubio or Trump says something to the UK saying, hey, you guys got to stop this. You got to do something. You can't treat your people like this. Turnabout is fair play. The shit that they pulled during George Floyd, like those statements and all the shit they did, kneeling and all the other stuff, it's time to go back on them. No, motherfuckers. You got to stop being racist to white people. You got to stop it. This man better quit. I hope so. Well, everybody, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. We went for 3 hours and 45 minutes. And unfortunately, we did not hit the goal for the second additional hour. I will double check real quick. I will look at everything to see if anything came in. I don't see anything on Cash App. I don't see anything on PayPal. I don't see anything on Super Tips. So unfortunately, I think that's going to be it tonight for the show. I do want to thank everybody who was here and remind everybody to please hit like, please subscribe to the channel. All right. Thanks, Jim. Yeah. Send a strongly worded letter. Something has to happen. But yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe button and all that good stuff. And, everyone's going to go over to Joe. I think Joe just started. He's going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. I sent him a whole heap of good stuff to talk about tonight. All the good stories. So go ahead on over to Joe. All right. And, or somewhere else. If you don't like Joe, you could go somewhere else. You don't have to go to Joe. All right. But whatever, wherever you go, I will see everybody tomorrow night sometime. Not sure. I'll let you know. Thank you all for being here. Love you. Come on back tomorrow for Jim to tell you the news.